always hate that I start the
I
check-in
know,
like
you
on
always
a radio
do
voice.
that.
Welcome to checking
can't
in.
not.
Listen, you know.
Welcome.
Do you know
So
how to change that? You know how to change that?
How's that?
Don't do it.
You watch the podcast over,
And
and
then
then
you
you
know-
realize how goofy it is. Stop doing stuff. You're like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
yeah, that shit was weird. I'm not doing that anymore.
So, anyways, welcome to checking in.
So welcome.
So, welcome to checking in, your podcast with the bar checks.
Yes,
How are you guys doing today?
it's great. Been a great payday.
Yeah, I mean, we're making some serious bank. So for
Bands.
those guys that, so the deal is we clickbaited a little bit on this one. The king of clickbait, as they say.
It was your idea.
It was my idea because
I-
most clickbait's my idea.
I wanted to soften it up a little bit, but you were like, hit him hard.
Hit him
I
hard.
was like, all right.
Well, really, clickbait. This is we're going to talk about what the title is and why.
Let's just talk about the title, yeah.
But I want to talk about clickbait a little bit. I don't understand why people get so upset. I had someone the other day say, I love watching your content, but you're so clickbaity, I'm going to stop watching. And I just thought to myself, like, really?
If you
like,
love watching a content, it really doesn't matter what the title is, right? Because you're going to watch it no matter what it
Right.
says.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And the
It's
whole
like-
point of clickbait is to get people who normally don't watch to click on your shit.
Thank you,
oh, right,
Lori.
exactly. It's not
I mean,
like
I'm
you're
not
lying.
even a
It's-
YouTube person, and I can figure that out.
Yeah, it's not like we ever lie on our titles.
No,
we just
never.
we just make them sensational. It's like saying like, I love the movie Scarface, but the fact that they named it Scarface in their title, I will never
Because he
watch that
doesn't
movie.
even have a scar on his face.
Well, he does, but that's not a bad example.
Yeah,
Bad example.
No, it would be like if the movie was Anaconda, but really all it was about was like Nicki Minaj's music video or something.
Now that's bad clickbait.
Yeah,
that's
you know
bad
what I mean?
clickbait.
We don't want that.
Yeah, but no, my point is that's right. So today
a bad
we
analogy,
it was
too.
we,
Jesus Christ, we're off the ball right now.
We suck
It's the
at this.
beef smell.
We're
It's
terrible.
the beef. I know. My dad was just cranking open some beef.
He was eating some stinky ass beef sticks.
I know.
I hadn't eaten all day.
That's true.
And then you just decided to bust out the
You
stinky
just-
beef. It smells like a freaking hockey locker room down here.
Yeah, it tasted like a hockey locker room too.
Oh, how do you know what that tastes like? What the fuck does that even mean?
No, you've had those thick smells that are
Yeah.
so bad that you actually taste them. Yes, no, seriously.
Oh
you
my
have
God.
definitely smelled something. Like, honestly, that soap that I stuck
Yeah,
in your
yeah,
nose,
yeah.
you
I got
tasted it,
some
didn't
soap.
you?
Yeah, you
because
did.
when you whiff it so hard
Yeah.
and, like, it goes into your mouth.
You know, it's funny you talk about smells and tastes, and we're way off track now.
No,
It's
don't
all
worry
good.
about
We're
it.
right where we're supposed to
So,
be.
Exactly.
We went to Mexico just before the Rona,
Very
and I love the shampoo. No, I love the shampoo and conditioner at this resort,
I
at the Secrets
understand
Resort. So much so that I spent $100 on the wrong shampoo.
No, whoa, $100.
Yeah, $100 on the wrong shampoo. I still liked it. It was good, but it wasn't the right shampoo. So I
What
called
the
the company. It was like called Gilchrist and something Chris or something like that.
I didn't know we were sitting with Rihanna.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I'm
listen.
saying?
Okay, listen.
What?
Number one, you bought, it was like 2 big bottles
Mm-hmm.
for $100.
How much is inside? Like, I'm talking.
Or was it
I want-
100 each?
I
No,
want
it was. I think it was
measurements.
120.
For both.
120
For both.
milliliters.
But let me tell you.
No, it was
so
like 24 ounces.
You guys,
Okay.
they're big bottles, and you guys don't understand. Any women out there who get their hair done in a salon, colored especially,
Okay.
you need to buy good shampoo. Otherwise, you
true.
just wasted your money. So it is
I
not
buy.
unusual to spend $50 to $60
Really?
on a good size thing
I didn't
of
know.
shampoo.
Okay.
So that
Okay,
being
so that makes
said-
me feel better.
Exactly.
Makes me feel better.
Most guys just don't do it. That's all.
But I get this because
Yeah, get that head and
I'm looking
shoulders.
on their website.
It's
I'm looking on
suave.
their website and I'm trying to figure out like, oh, this looks like that shampoo because I love the smell. The smell was just really cool. It's called Spearmint, Spearmint something. I don't know what it was called.
Smear. Let's make it up. Aloe.
Yeah, Spirit Aloe. So the point is I liked. Number one, it makes my hair glisten. as
So
you can
soft.
see.
Feels
So
so
soft. You
good.
just keep saying, feel my hair.
Yeah, I just
It's
keep
so
saying,
soft.
feel my hair. It's so soft.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact is, I really like the smell. Well, this new shampoo that I
Like a
bought
dog.
it wasn't the right shampoo. So I literally called the company. They're UK based, by the way,
Wow.
in the UK. And I called them and I said, what shampoo and conditioner do you sell to Secrets Resort in Cancun?
Okay.
And they told me, and so then I
Wow.
spent another 120, and now I've got
beautiful.
the shampoo.
Oh, yeah.
And every morning I wake up and I shampoo my hair and condition my hair, and it reminds me of
Every
the
morning?
wonderful time we had in every morning.
Well, can I ask you guys a question? So, I've been getting mixed signals I heard on a podcast recently you're not supposed to wash your hair every day.
I don't know.
Because
You're
like,
not.
what?
I think
Because
you're
what's
not, yeah.
wrong with it though?
So
What happens?
when you wash your hair every day, it strips the natural oils and stuff out of it.
Gotta keep it
So
oily.
You should not do it every single
Can I-
day.
But I
You
like
should-
that smell, man. It starts my
Can I
day off
touch
so
it?
good.
I love
Can
you.
I touch the?
I love you, but
Where?
I'm not gonna allow that lie to go. You do not wash your hair.
Wow, that's fucking
It's
soft.
soft, right?
Are
What
you
the
gonna try
hell?
it?
It's like a horse's mane.
That
no,
feels like it should be at the end of a long sword, right at the butt. Holy shit!
So there you
It's
go.
soft.
That's what you
Yeah.
get for good money.
Wow.
And I have been washing my hair every day since I've gotten this Gilchrist.
Just because you want to
because I
smell
love
it.
the smell.
How about
and
you
it-
just go
No, and it's interesting because literally, like, so this is me.
rub a
Seriously,
little on your beard?
this is me. Like every morning, I'm in the shower.
In the shower.
And then I'll even like put the shampoo in my hand, and at first there's nothing, right? No, I don't smell it. As soon as I put it on my hair, and that smell wafts, all of a sudden it just brings me right back to
It's all about the
Mexico.
waft. I was just wafting about 15 minutes
That's
before
true.
the podcast.
Yeah.
My mom, she handed me this soap bar. And,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And some other sort of chemical stuff. I don't
yeah.
know
Some
what it
people
was.
sent us it. It's awesome. Yeah.
It was the handmade
And
soaps.
I was wafting it as you do scientifically because I'm a scientific man. I
Yeah,
didn't know if you
obviously.
knew this.
See that.
Obviously. And you know, she just stuck it right up to her nose and was just like, you know what I mean? She just railed it, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's not how
That's
you do
not
it. That's not how you
good.
do it.
But it's okay. I mean,
Listen, I've got a smell story to round this story out.
Oh no, not.
So
I don't
yeah,
want to hear about
yeah,
this
it is
one.
perfectly terrible. So last night you're like, "Oh, Mom, thank you so much for buying me that Harry Potter shaker bottle
Yeah.
for Christmas that Dad took
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
and has never to be seen."
Yeah.
Oh,
which
no.
we all knew it was on his desk.
Yeah.
This is a shaker bottle that you use for protein.
Can I add one thing real
Sure.
quick, just to add detail, guys? This was one of my Christmas presents. You know, one of that I used one time,
and I had it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you stole
You
it.
took
I had
it,
it?
you had it, brought it to work, drank it, left it on your desk.
Ooh.
Months. This is months ago.
Oh,
like I
no.
said,
So-
got it on Christmas.
No wonder my office was so
Oh,
smelly.
you don't even know. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this. I'm going to rinse it out. I'm going to see if I can salvage it for Noah. Number one.
You have to burn it.
I opened that thing up. Holy cow. Literally dead, bloated, rotten rodent smell.
Yep.
You would not believe. And I was like, oh. So I'm like running the hot water.
and making it worse too.
Well, I was trying to rinse it, and I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna throw some bleach in here because, like, think
Ooh.
about
Drink
it.
the bleach?
Bleach kills.
Okay, Trump.
Bleach. Bleach does kill bad smells.
Yeah.
So I poured bleach, hot water, put it there. I let it sit for a few hours.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, so if this works, then maybe
Yeah.
I'll run it through the dishwasher.
Right.
It'll be okay.
Wow.
It gets better. So after a few hours of see it, I'm like, okay. So I rinse it out. I'm like, a little bit of smell, but maybe the dishwasher will take care of it.
Sure.
So I had it and I set it on the table. It's like our packing table, but it's by my office. And that's a lot of times where I put my clean shaker bottles. So when I remember to take them home.
You didn't do it.
Oh, no. So...
Oh.
So throughout the day, Beth keeps coming to me. And she was like, Lori.
Are you farting?
No. She's like, do I smell? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
No.
She was like, do I smell? And I'm
No.
like, I don't think so. She's like, are you sure? I came up to her. I'm like,
You smelled her.
I did. I was like, no, you smell really
Fresh
good.
breath
Like, no,
of Beth.
she literally
That's funny.
smelled like she just came out of the dryer, like dryer
Wow.
sheets.
Ooh,
I'm like,
that's
you
good.
smell
Dryer,
good.
yeah,
Like,
nice.
no.
Yeah.
She's
Nice.
like, I just keep smelling this. I smell. I don't know what it is.
What did she describe it as? The smell.
Rotting
she
flesh.
Said it, no, she said it's such a bad smell. She goes, and I'm thinking it has to be me. So I'm helping her pack.
That's
and
incredible.
It's almost 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, she goes, did I tell you I figured out that smell? I'm like, no, what
what
is
was
it? She's like, it was this. And she picks up the shaker bottle.
Damn.
And I was like, are you kidding? She goes, no. She goes, it's terrible. I'm like, just throw it away.
yeah.
Just throw it
Yeah.
away. I said, I
Exactly.
was going to take it home, but if it smelled
why does
that
it smell
bad.
so bad?
Did you put protein in it?
Well, of
Yes.
course.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Why does protein smell so bad?
But I was
Why
just
does
telling
a
mom
bloated
this
rodent smell
Yeah,
so
same
bad?
thing.
because this whole thing started because like mom said, I brought it up yesterday. I was like,
Yeah.
man, I really wish I got to use my one of my few Christmas presents. You know, like I'm getting older now. I understand, but you know, but you took it.
Which one was it? I don't even remember.
It was
it.
the
Potter.
brown Harry Potter one. I'll pull it out of the trash and show you. I'll put it back on your desk
wasn't-
open.
it was-
so you can smell the
It might
shit smell.
it might be brown now, but it was red when you bought it.
Shit, it's gonna.
brown.
This is gonna be a therapy session when Noah's like 50.
No.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
yeah, for real. Oh, 100%.
This is his therapy session. He's
Then
doing
I had a
great.
good life.
Right?
If that's my therapy, I had a
That
good life.
shaker bottle my dad stole really ruined my life.
Traumatized me.
By the way, what are you drinking tonight?
Let me get a hit of that.
Baron Bros.
Let me get a whiff.
Behringer.
It's Behringer Brothers Bourbon Barrel Aged.
wafting.
It's a Chardonnay.
Oh, so
Wow.
it's a Chardonnay, and then
that
they
smells
age it.
splendid.
Yeah, they age it in a bourbon barrel,
Yes.
which
so
makes it
usually I'm
more
not
proof.
a fan, but I wanted something cold because it's been so hot at work today, and most reds you just drink at room temperature. So when I went next door and I'm looking through his cooler that he had stuff cold,
Yeah.
this actually looked the best,
Okay.
and it was his favorite. He goes, "This is my favorite," and it's not bad.
He says it every time you buy a bottle.
He
of
does.
wine.
No,
He
that's
said
what
to me the
you.
other
That's
day.
what you do when you sell.
Yeah.
This is not true. I know Bill, and he's honest.
Yeah, he's a
he
sweetheart.
won't say anything.
Honest Bill, you know that guy. Honest Bill, he's a
Honest
good
Bill.
guy.
Honest
You know,
Bill
he's
from the
honest.
gas station.
He actually ran for president.
He did.
Honest
Yeah.
Bill.
Wait,
yeah.
no,
Monica
he's,
Lewinsky.
He's better than that.
Have you heard of
Bill.
Monica Lewinsky anytime in your
He's
past?
much better than
He's
that.
selling
Bill.
shit at our gas station. He owns a gas station.
I did not have sexual relations with
That
that woman.
Woman.
Actually, did you
I
see on
believe
the
it.
Michael Jordan thing, which is, by the way, we're just watching it, which is awesome.
Yeah, the
I
Bill
mean,
Clinton
yeah,
part?
Yeah.
I
Bill
know, I was
Clinton.
just
You
thinking
know, because he
that.
was obviously, what was it? Was Scottie Pippen he was
yeah.
talking about, but
Okay.
he, of course, he was the governor of Arkansas. Scottie Pippen came
Mm.
from Arkansas. What was the city he came from in Arkansas?
I can't
Because you said he,
remember.
Hamburg, Arkansas.
Yes, because that's right.
Yeah,
I said, is that
exactly.
Pennsylvania?
Hamburger.
That's where Pippen came from. So that's cool. So okay.
So, wait, what was the point of that?
Oh, he just said he remembered. He obviously watched basketball back then, and when he was in his first years of college, he was just saying, I remember seeing him going. He was really good.
Bill Clinton talked
and
about him.
Yeah, they had an
Okay.
interview with Clinton on that episode, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, it's cool that Clinton would do it.
And that was-
Absolutely.
I mean, that
you
was
know,
a long time ago too.
and
That
by
was
the
in
way-
the 70s.
Yeah, and
so.
by the way, Clinton was one of my favorite presidents. I love that guy. I just
Yeah.
think I always, I hate to say this, and it's probably horrible, but
so maybe
I
don't say it.
oftentimes, no, oftentimes I don't think of like good presidents as opposed to like what they've done for the country as much as like, I'd like to hang out with that guy. Like Clinton, Obama seems like a nice dude.
Yeah,
Seems like
yeah.
a great guy to
I
go
love
out,
the
you know?
ball, play some
You know?
basketball with Obama.
Yeah.
And then
So I'm
maybe
just going
like,
to put it out there that probably don't say that again because if you want to hang out with Bill Clinton, then I don't want to hang out with you.
not in that, not
I'm
in
just
that
calling
sense.
it like because that's
Bill and
exactly. I
Monica.
hear what you say exactly. I'm like I'm
like, yo,
sorry.
Bill, can we go in the White
but
House real quick?
That guy
He said
was
Monica's
not
in the
loyal
back.
to his
No,
wife
no,
ever,
I don't-
and that's not a person that I think you should be hanging out
No,
with.
no.
And
So I didn't mean
want
it
you
in
to.
that way. I
doesn't
meant it in.
matter.
Okay,
Take it
I'm
back.
I'm
You're
taking
not
it back.
hanging out
Well, you
with
get
me.
Obama. That's
I
fine.
actually hate
Yeah.
Clinton.
Thank
I
you.
hated him.
Both
Where's
of them.
Monica? Oh, she's in
the back.
She's in Abe's room. All right,
I'll be right back.
I'll be back.
You can hang out with Obama.
No,
I know. He's a stand-up guy.
Obama,
You know what I
dude.
mean?
Yeah.
You think
no,
of
he seems
Obama, you
whether
think of
you
class.
liked or disliked Obama, his policies is irrelevant because I don't care about politics.
He's dope.
The point is he just
I
seemed
like
like a
him.
good dude,
Yeah,
man.
I
You
agree.
know, he seems like a guy. I
I
mean, when he
agree.
talks, I want to listen to him.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice. I would
Yeah.
love to watch a documentary with his voiceover.
Like he could be the new
He could do
Morgan Freeman.
Let's-
new Morgan
guys,
Freeman.
and,
Ooh, those
and
are big shoes.
by the way,
Yeah.
I want
Huge.
proceeds for whoever goes through with this idea because I'm not going to be able to. I don't
Right.
think. But Obama needs to do the voiceover on LeBron James' version
that's
of
a good
The
idea.
Last Dance or whatever they're going to
Yeah,
call
that's
it.
a good idea.
Imagine that having Obama.
Are they doing
talk
a
over
LeBron
that shit.
James? Are they doing one? Or
I
you're
mean,
just, eventually?
Exactly
You're
what
just
I
thinking
just said.
it's something that somebody should put together,
Exactly.
and I'm sure
And
they
I'm
probably
saying,
already are.
you gotta
working
pay
on
it me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I just came up with it,
No.
but you take it, but pay
And it's
me.
probably even better with
it was
with
probably
LeBron
in the works
because
before he even died.
What,
to be honest.
Obama?
Before-
Who died?
Who died?
I'm talking about LeBron. He's still alive.
Kobe. She's
I
thinking
was
Kobe.
thinking Kobe. I'm sorry.
Whoa! Wow,
Actually,
Mom
that's
just
a-
made
yeah,
it even
that's-
better.
yeah.
Obama with Kobe.
Yeah, that's way
that.
better.
Now that would.
I'm
was like,
sorry.
LeBron died?
I'm like, what the?
You heard it here
I'm
first,
not,
guys.
Not a huge basketball
Remember,
fan.
hey, wait a second. Wait a second. Seriously, take it back because you know what we say on this podcast.
Knock on
happens.
some
So yeah,
fucking
it comes
wood.
real. Dude.
Yeah, seriously. Do
Knock
not
on
say
it.
Knock on
I
it.
didn't say it.
It's plastic now. It's,
Okay, well,
This is real
whatever.
wood, man. Plywood, babe.
Oh, there is plywood. You're so right.
There is plywood over it.
Yeah.
So listen,
Is there?
the reason we
She did it.
clickbaited people
We didn't
is
clickbait.
we didn't really. Well, yeah, we did, but the reason is because Joe Rogan.
Oh shit! I just read the title. Yeah, we clickbaited. Wow! Wow! Jesus, dude! God!
Oh, we didn't clickbait that? Damn.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Continue.
So why did we
So
do
Joe,
this?
Joe Rogan, the king of really podcasting. I
Yeah,
mean, he
sure.
took podcasting to the next level. Just signed a contract with Spotify. He's going to be moving for $100 million.
Now is
So
this
crazy.
So I just want to. Is this confirmed money?
Oh, it's confirmed. Yeah, it's
Okay,
100%.
okay,
yeah.
cool.
He's got $100 million.
That's awesome.
In the bank. And
Imagine how good that feels.
it's got to feel pretty good. I mean, I always said, like, listen, like that's like professional, like top of professional sports athlete type money.
That's LeBron James.
That's maybe not LeBron. LeBron probably makes more, but
in like
but
a 4-year contract.
yeah,
or
I mean
whatever.
that's yeah, we're talking like unbelievable money for a guy that literally started out on Fear Factor, then went on to the UFC,
awesome.
and then ultimately now is podcasting,
Well,
and I love
he's
his
crushing
podcast.
it. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like,
No,
he's
he's doing
got
good.
the following, and I
awesome.
get it. And
But $100 million.
It's pretty cool, right?
I mean, that's got to be the first $100 million contract for a.
Podcast.
Well, certainly for a podcaster, but maybe even a social media influencer of any sort.
That's
and that's
tough.
not to say, no, listen, that's not to say that the Logan Pauls of the world and the David Dobrik's haven't made that kind of money over their
No, I
career.
know what you're
but in
saying.
one lump sum.
well,
know what you're saying.
Did you? Because I read actually this morning about that, and the reason he got that money is
Right.
because Spotify is paying him that for
Exclusivity. No,
right,
right, yeah.
And that's for everything. That's not only on the podcast, but that's video too, because
Yeah, well, of
Spotify
course,
is
yeah.
doing video, so he can't post his stuff on YouTube.
Keeping,
or anything
yeah,
like
he's
yeah.
that
keeping his clip
either.
channel on YouTube though.
So,
Is he?
are you
Yeah,
sure?
Yep, he posted a video. I
Oh,
I
that's so
saw the
smart.
Well,
I saw
it
the
starts-
video.
it
So if
starts-
it's a
no,
deep fake, then
it starts in
but-
September, according to the article.
No, no, but the whole thing,
nope.
no. So this is, you're right. Let's clarify. So basically what happens is, you're right, Noah. So
he probably
he's
put that
right
in
now
the
he's
contract,
posting
kind of
on all platforms. By the end of the year, he is exclusive to Spotify with the exception of the Clips channel that can go on.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
Clips channel actually
Makes the most,
is
right?
probably the biggest moneymaker, which, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to the Checking In Clips channel.
Shameless plug.
Jesus,
No, that's heavy. I like that.
that was fucking deep.
Wasn't it? That's never
That
a
was
missed
like
opportunity.
that was like this. Like you snuck up to him and you're just like,
You know,
their
literally,
throat real
the
quick.
entire Joe Rogan story was just so I could pitch our Clip channel.
that's awesome.
That's what I
Genius.
no.
That's awesome.
That's not true. I just saw an opportunity. But the thing is that I'm amazed at that. I met
Me
Joe.
too.
I met Joe a couple times. Real nice guy.
never met
yeah,
Joe.
real nice
How
guy.
did you meet Joe?
So remember Mike Goldberg, who was the announcer for the Red Wings for a minute,
yeah.
and then he was the announcer for the Minnesota Wild. Of course, Burnsy's our friend. He hooked me up with Mike Goldberg when me and Lee, your brother, my brother-in-law, went to the UFC fight. So we got to go hang out with Mike Goldberg, which of course was with Joe Rogan, and Joe was the nicest guy in the world. And I'll never forget the thing that I found
so you
interesting.
and Lee got to meet him.
Right, me and Lee
Okay.
got to meet Joe, and twice. And the thing that I remember about Joe, my one story, of course, he would never remember me, but the story was just we were talking before the UFC, and literally I remember him and Mike were talking, and we're just going back and forth about things like, oh yeah, Burnsy, and talking about sports and all this stuff, and literally Joe goes, someone walked up to Joe and said, we're live, because we're going live for the main event, you know, not the main event, but the pay-per-view. They're like, yeah, we go live in 30 seconds. And he's like, oh yeah, that's cool. And he just kept talking to me. It's like 30 seconds. And then like talked for like 10 more seconds, then turned around, sat down, went live.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. And then, of course, we saw him
That's
live
cool.
in comedy.
I'm
I
so
know, he does-
excited because you know what? You have this story. So when you get to meet him and or be on his podcast, This is the
Speak it
story.
into existence. Say it.
This is the story you can share.
Yeah.
Manifestation.
How cool is that?
Be careful what you manifest, but at the same time, it's good
Don't
when
be
you
afraid.
manifest stuff like that.
So
Yeah.
weirdly enough, I've
cool.
never told the story obviously on the podcast, but there's a guy named Matt Staggs who reached out to me
I know the
probably
name.
Matt Staggs about maybe 7 years ago reached out to me and he was like I guess he watched the vlog and he was like, hey, I do this little podcast and would you want to be on it? I was like, yeah, that'd be great, whatever. So I went on, blah blah. And again, I don't know if he still does, but up until like 8 months ago, he was Joe Rogan's booker. He was the one that booked all of Joe Rogan's stuff.
Really?
And so
Small
the reason
world.
I say I don't know if he still does is because we linked up on Twitter. He deleted his Twitter account about 6 months ago, and I've texted him a couple times, and he has not responded. So I don't know. I mean, heaven forbid, maybe he's not even with us anymore. I have no
my
idea.
goodness.
I mean, he's just gone.
You know what?
like,
Or maybe, you know what?
did I
Maybe
jump
he-
to? Did I jump to?
Yeah, you
Maybe he
jumped
got a new phone, dude.
He's like,
You jumped
you're
the
name
shark?
dropping, and you're name dropping, and you're just like, and maybe he's just fucking dead. He's like, I don't know.
Shit.
Because it's not.
really
It's
just
more
ghosting you. He's
common
just-
for people to like cut off social media at this point than to be dead.
I'm just saying,
So,
if I don't have a
I'm gonna
Twitter,
say-
I'm probably dead.
I'm probably dead.
I'm probably
That's
dead.
not true because I might have just cut that shit off. So
But so, anyways, my point is that several times Matt Stagg actually tried to get me on Rogan, and for whatever reason, Joe just he said
you
he was
just weren't interested.
no. He
enough.
said he was
Interesting
he said that he didn't like snakes, is what he said.
Interesting.
And so this was like every time Joe would come back, and this goes back like
when-
6 or 7
yeah.
years ago when Joe was pretty small. He wasn't what he is today. But if you remember when we
change.
went to Joe's stand up in Detroit.
Yeah.
Remember me saying I was trying to get to meet him, and that was through Matt Staggs. So that was just like a year ago. Matt and me were still communicating via text, and then
Yeah.
now he's just disappeared. So I'm thinking he must have died.
to all you people out there, I just stopped talking to. Just think I died.
yeah, just think I'm dead. Just go ahead.
That's how I process. When someone doesn't text me back, I process that the only reason they wouldn't text me back is they must have perished.
Right.
If you're not, you know who I am. If you're not texting me, you're
Honestly,
dead.
I'm the worst texter.
Yeah, me too. I'm so
oh,
bad.
dude, I'll see a text message and I'll just be like, yeah,
Nope.
not right now. I'm just be like, honestly, I'm gonna worry about that later.
It's like, Noah, can you
no,
please
know
help?
what
It's
the
an
worst
emergency.
Is, though, if you accidentally like click it and it's not unread,
Yeah.
you'll never see that
Exactly.
thing again. Like I try to
Yeah.
leave my shit unread so
Yeah.
that I remember to see
I
it
know.
because like
Yeah.
that's me from
Yeah, it happens to me
usually
too.
more of a busy standpoint.
Yeah.
And as long as it's unread,
yeah.
if I accidentally click it,
This is
I
what
never
happens
get a
too. Like for
response.
me, I'll get a notification, I'll pop it up. I'm like, oh, what's this? I open it and then I read it. I'm like, yeah, I don't really know about this right now. And then I'll just like swipe off and click, and then I'll just
Never
never
know.
remember.
Yeah. Sometimes like a week later, I'll remember. Like, oh shit, someone
Or the
someone
next
texted
time
me.
they text,
Dude.
you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, I never responded.
Like, are you dead?
I just got this new phone, right?
yes.
Yeah.
But on my old phone, I had like 100 unread
Unread?
texts.
Oh my god.
And my girlfriend was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm just like, I don't really feel like dealing with it right now. If it's important, they'll come see me in person. Like,
True.
Do you want to go ahead?
By leaving it unread, there's still a chance they
they
might get
might get
answered.
there.
Right.
Jay, you want to hit a couple super chats?
You
real
got it,
quick?
brother. So
'Cause
we
I know
got-
we're piling up a little bit.
Yeah, we got Pat says, thanks for the virtual tour. I really enjoyed it. He must have just did it.
She.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
she.
she. Yep,
Sorry.
yep.
Thank you
She
so
was
much,
great. Yeah,
Pat.
Pat was great.
Solus Honky, another weekly greetings from Portland.
Hey, from
Hello.
Portland. I had
Nice to
someone
see
from
you.
Utah today. Well, I mean,
Oh,
not
that's
exactly.
good. You
It's,
know.
The West.
it's the same
area.
area.
Yeah,
it was all bought
It's
in the
in that
Louisiana
area.
purchase.
no,
It's fine.
exactly.
Exactly,
I have a
yeah.
cousin in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I
perfect,
mean?
Yeah.
Same shit.
I know someone from Japan. It just doesn't make any sense.
I have
yeah.
a Mexican friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wanted-
Miguel.
Hey, where's-
Miguel. We all have the same one.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
We all have the same one.
So I think it's Kaylee says, want to work with animals too, but I don't know how to start.
Really, just honestly, just
one.
the best. I always tell people, find someone local that you can volunteer at. And that's a great
Smart.
way. Whether
That
it's
is
a
a good way.
rescue, whether it's a
Hey,
zoo,
or you can
whether
work at a
it's
pet store.
Yeah, pet stores.
stores.
Reason
That
too,
just
yeah.
gets started, and then the opportunities. If you do that and you're
Yeah.
really good, opportunities will open up. If you do it and you're terrible, then you're probably not going to work
then
with
you'll
animals.
know, like, this isn't for me.
Exactly,
Right.
but at least you know you tried.
Right.
And because there are a lot of people with with like zoos and stuff, like the big cat industry, where Instagrammers and stuff, like they'll volunteer there because they want to work with animals.
Yeah.
And then they, like you said, they just kind of find a way in life through that.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's been
Be careful with
countless.
the big cat things. You don't want to turn into a sex slave, I hear.
Don't be asking for a basket.
Yeah, don't ask him for a basket.
Don't ask for a basket. Asking for a basket.
Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is a good thing. Learn from your mistakes.
forward.
And add
Fail
on to
forward.
it.
That's
Fail
one of my
forward.
favorite things.
Yep, fail forward.
We got Lisa says, hi all, love and light from Illinois.
Thank
Hey,
you so
what's
much,
going on?
Lisa.
Thank you.
So that jeweler guy's back. Mike says,
Mikey.
hey, a bit late, got myself a nice apple caramel
Oh,
crown ring.
Nice.
Hope
my
everyone's
guy.
doing well. Sad to hear Rogan is moving. I won't swap just for him.
Wow. Look at
Damn.
you.
Well,
That,
that's-
Spotify's not
See,
going to
I
want to
feel-
freaking
I
hear
feel
that.
like that's kind of funny because you don't have to swap.
You don't.
You just
Have
another
go
thing.
there to listen to him. You
Yeah.
don't have to
Well, I think
only
that, and I think
listen
that,
to
right, and I think that's
Spotify.
why Spotify, right? So Spotify's, and it's a brilliant thing. Number one, they want to get into video, they want to get into podcasting. They already dominate music.
It doesn't.
So
Does
basically,
it cost? Do you have to pay to listen to him?
There
I don't
is a-
think so. I don't.
Well,
maybe,
I don't know for his.
Right.
There is a premium feature on the
Spotify,
app.
yes, for sure.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not saying
'Cause I
that.
thought
I
it's
don't
like
think it is. It's
anything,
probably
it's-
free.
I don't
It's
think it
probably
would be
free
ads.
with ads.
Yeah, it's probably
Exactly.
free with ads.
Which
you know,
I mean, I'm a
kinda,
cheap ass.
the
All my
kinda,
shit's free with ads.
you wonder if this is like analogous to the Casey Neistat CNN debacle.
Right.
And what I mean by that is that
Don't know what you're
that
talking
CNN bought a company from Casey Neistat because they wanted to be in bed with Casey Neistat when he was at the peak of YouTube, and they paid him $25 million, and 8 months later pulled the plug. Now with Joe, probably not the case because he's got viewers. But you, like Mike had said,
Did he
how
get
many
the money?
people? He got the money,
Yeah, they
25
can't
mil.
pull the
Fuck it.
plug if he's got the money. He's got
Right,
the
but you
money.
wonder if, like, okay, so say Joe is getting 150 million views a month, which is, I think, the last time I saw about that. Well, let's say on Spotify he's only going to get 30 mil. At what point do they say, hey, this was not a good idea?
So
I mean, not that they would pull the plug because they spent the money and it's
so
there anyways.
there are some similar things. As people may know, I game. Okay, I don't pay as much attention as I used to, but Twitch, back when I was paying attention, was like the only platform that gamers streamed on
Right.
for a living.
Yeah.
And then more recently, I mean, time flies so fast now, so it could have been a year, could have been 2 now. But Ninja and Shroud moved
That's right, yeah.
from Twitch to a Microsoft app called Mixer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And,
Oh, okay, yeah, I've seen stuff for that.
and they
Mixer,
got
okay.
paid like, I mean, a fuck ton of money, right?
Do you think it was like 100 million or do you think it was, I don't know.
We can pull up the contracts, Jay, if you're so kind to, brother.
Yeah, could you pull
But,
it up? So Ninja contract with Mixer.
Yep, Ninja. But
There it is, yeah.
so what I was gonna say? Let me finish this before we go on to that, so I don't forget, because I'm a very forgetful person. Was their view count dropped drastically? I mean, like so much.
Yeah.
so much. But it didn't really affect them because they got
still got
so much
paid,
money in
right?
the bank that they're like, you know what, I'm fine.
Yeah, because you don't even really hear about Ninja hardly anymore, and
Not
he was
anymore.
on top of the game.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
he was
was
at the New York. He
huge.
was at like New York's dropping of the ball and
Yeah.
But
stuff
it's
like
like
that.
exactly. It's like,
So-
is
Only at
this
30 million.
is that the price you pay for? Like, I mean, because if he never signed that, you're gambling because
Yeah.
you're like, all right, how much time do I have left at the top?
Well, right.
And what if it does go away?
Well,
That seems like it's just
20 to 30 mil. It doesn't. It seems like he was making that kind of money a month almost on Twitch. You know what I mean? Like,
But-
you know.
right. Okay, because I agree with that. I think the same thing, but. You know, we get the things through Google. We get our numbers through Google. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
try to roughly estimate other
Right.
people's money.
Yeah.
But at the
look
same
what
time,
they
there's
said. Look what they said
You were
made.
making
exactly exactly the point I was trying to make was that, quote unquote, I have 50 million. I don't have fucking a tenth of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so maybe that is a lot of money for them. Of course, it's a lot of money for anybody.
Well,
but
Yeah.
and that was really where I was going with that. Is that
sorry,
like what is the money to gamble? Like, you know, like
don't know.
what would it be like? Let's say you were successful on YouTube and you're making good money on YouTube, getting millions of views and all this type of stuff. At what point, like, what would that money be that you would potentially jeopardize?
Well, think about this
that
too,
to
though.
move to a
I'm
different
just gonna-
platform.
Popped in my head with Rogan, anyways. Whatever he makes from that is probably just side money. I'm sure his main money comes from his ads. Because he does all the ads on his podcast.
Well, yeah, but
stuff
he
like that,
no,
that he
no,
gets
no,
paid
no, no, no,
for.
no,
He doesn't
not
do
even, not
any.
even close to main money. I mean, you figure he's probably making
He does a lot of ads, like I said, because
well, he
I
does
know
a lot
the
of
times
ads,
I've
but I'm
tried
just
to
saying those
listen,
ads
like,
are
I
those
asked
ads are
for it.
maybe $20,000. He's making
Maybe
way
they-
more than
maybe
that.
he gets paid more for who he is.
No,
I
it,
don't
it doesn't.
like to-
Even if it's 100,000.
I don't like to talk about other man's money.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, his money is made on CPM and stuff like that. You know, which is
Yeah.
Okay, you're his
No,
accountant.
no. Well, listen, it's pretty simple. Like Noah said, we know how much you
I'm
make on
just
YouTube.
kidding.
Roughly, yeah.
You know how much,
I'm
and we
just
can go on Social Blade. Can you do this? Go to Social Blade for me, please.
Yeah.
Social Blade. No, no,
Can we go back
I
to
don't know.
super
I didn't-
chats?
no. Yeah, we'll go back to Super Chats for a second, but I want to see it. So go to just Social Blade. That's it.
Yeah.
Go to that, and then go to Joe Rogan. And then after that, I want you to go to, it's probably JR or Joe Rogan Experience is what it's going to be. But that's okay. It'll just take a second here. So go to the powerful Joe Rogan. Click on that.
Powerful Joe Rogan.
Click on that. Go to detailed statistics, and look down. Once you click on that, go down to the very bottom, right there. He did 107 million views last month in the last 30 days. So he's getting
In
about
the last 3 days?
no in the last
30.
30 days.
Oh.
107 million.
like,
so
that's a lot
so
of
he's
views in
definitely
3 days.
he's definitely a Google Select Premium Select. So he's probably getting about 10 CPM, which means that he's getting about $1 million a month.
I'm not
on this-
talking about the
Let me-
ads on the YouTube.
Let him
No,
finish.
no. What
But,
if you
okay.
listen to what I'm saying?
Okay.
Go back to Social Blade.
Yeah.
Go back to search
Okay.
and go to Joe Rogan's clips. And I'm going to tell you what I'm telling you. Just let me think this thing out.
He's gonna tell him
What you
I'm
telling
gonna
you?
tell
Go to
I'm
clips.
gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you.
Same
what
thing.
I'm saying.
Detail stats. Yeah.
Back to the Italian.
Back to the
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. What
Okay,
I'm
so
doing.
right there now, 172 million is what he did. So he did about $1 million on his first channel. This channel he's probably doing about 1.5 million, right in that range. So he's doing about $2.5 million a month in Google ads.
That's a lot of
There's
money.
no way he's making 1.5 million on it in Black whatever Stone Labs that he does his ads within his thing. Is you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
You think he's making 1.5 million to say this was brought to you by Buy?
Oh, I don't know.
And he doesn't even.
But I
I
can
don't
tell
even
you
think he does
what,
ads anymore, does
That-
he?
Yeah, he
I haven't
does.
seen an ad in a while.
I
but
haven't seen
don't
an ad.
watch
No,
it.
when
You
it's
don't
when
watch
it
it.
starts.
When I
think when it
hear
starts,
it, because I don't watch
No,
them,
I
I
watch it.
listen on the whatever,
He
and
might
I
do
hear,
something.
I
Yeah.
hear the shit. Just
I think
like
actually,
all the
Jay, on
podcasts.
YouTube, I don't think it comes up, but when you listen
Okay.
to it on
Yeah.
Spotify
or on
after.
And
Apple,
that's what I'm
you-
saying.
it starts.
Those ads are different. You're getting revenue from that, which he'll still
Well,
get.
you are getting revenue, but I mean, those contracts are under $100,000. You know, those contracts.
He's
are.
a pretty big thing. I bet he can get good money for
Yeah.
his pushing promotion. No, I'm just saying when you reach
Probably.
that amount of people,
Yeah.
you know, I
1.5
don't know.
million.
Powers.
Yeah.
When you
It
have
doesn't
power,
matter.
you
Doesn't
get
matter.
more.
The
If
point
I-
is, he's making
if
a lot
I
of
had
money.
those things, I'd be demanding.
does
big
matter.
bucks.
Yeah, why you say that? You go in so much detail
And
about
then it
things.
doesn't
Doesn't
And you're like, it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, well, I'm trying
like, why'd
to
you
prove.
bring it up
I'm trying to
then?
prove a point, but then you think there's just.
I don't
me
care.
and you-
Guess
see-
what? Joe
I
Rogan
can't-
doesn't have to worry about money.
No,
How
he
about
doesn't.
That?
Yeah,
but
that's-
we know how much people pay for sponsored and integrations, and we kind of get a pretty
But I'd
good
like to
understanding.
think that the bigger you are, the
Well, no, the
more
bigger
money
you are, but
get,
it is.
'cause we ain't
it is-
nowhere on Rogan's.
No, but it is scalable. It's scalable, and the reason I know it's scalable is
Yeah.
because we know David Dobrik and Logan Paul, and we know what they get paid for the things, and it's scalable to us. So if we get 100,000 and they get $1 million, they get about 10 times the money we get. It's scalable, you know.
Sure.
So anyways, let's move on from that. My point is, let's go back to Super Chat.
Yeah, you got it. Tom Murphy says, "Hey, Barcheck fam, I hope you and the crew are staying safe after all the flooding up there in Michigan. Prayers
Yeah,
for
that
all."
that was actually
Lucky for us.
way.
It's
someone
kind of
else- yeah.
mid.
Yeah, like
and
mid
we're
Michigan, so it's
more
hundreds of miles,
east.
150 miles from
Yep.
us. But yeah, hopefully
Everyone else is okay.
Everyone there is
Kinda-
good, but we're fine. Although we
We're
do
like-
have a.
On the
I
thumb.
think bad flooding actually happened by Michael's family, like in Midland
Yeah.
area.
That's
so
what I heard.
was
That's what I
gonna-
think it was,
gonna
yeah.
ask
That's where
him
George ran
how-
home from.
Yeah, that's right. Where George
Midland.
exactly, it did.
crazy.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's absolutely true.
He's there.
Maybe
No, he's
after
probably in-
talking on the
He's
podcast.
probably in Hell, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell,
Hey.
Michigan.
Of course, that's where he
All
went.
right.
Sharon just
Hi,
says,
Sharon.
"Hey, Brian, Lori, Noah, and Jay."
Hey Sharon,
Hey,
what's
how's it
up?
going?
How are
Hey,
you?
Jay.
Hi.
Hey Jay.
Hey,
Jay.
I know. I
Hey,
know.
Amy Tingle.
Hey.
Our
she's-
Tingler.
Hey.
Tingle
The
Monster.
Tingle Monster.
Sending love from the Tingle Monster and my 3 little Tingle Monsters.
Oh,
Our first
yeah.
ball python jacks we rescued is amazing.
They're
that's
tinglets.
awesome.
The little
Tinglets.
tinglets.
Oh, the Tinglins.
I like it. James says, "Hi guys, I love you all. What's the worst animal that you've ever owned?"
Oh my
man.
goodness.
That's
Okay.
a good one. That's
My
a
I'm
sister
gonna just
Jade.
say it. No,
I know what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna just say it.
What?
Our Italian Greyhound, our miniature Italian Greyhound, was our worst animal.
He was an
I
asshole.
love that dog.
But he was an
I
asshole.
love that
He
dog.
pissed on
but he pissed on
Everything,
everything.
everything. I even had a freaking diaper.
We had to
that I
have a
put
diaper on
He
him.
would
Diaper
piss
on-
out of the diaper.
He'd
Like,
piss
he
out
would
the
Slip his
diaper.
little
soak
pee-pee out
diaper.
the side and piss on shit.
Still, he was an asshole.
He was a bad dog.
Oh my god, you know
He was a good dog. He just peed on everything.
you know how
And
many Christmas
everything.
presents I had piss on? Like dried piss
That's-
on my
yeah.
Christmas presents.
Everybody did.
That's what I mean. I'm just telling the people we
That's
had dried,
incredible.
we
He
had
peed
pissy
in the
presents.
bed. He peed in our bed every night. He peed everywhere.
He was a bitch.
Yeah.
So it's unanimous.
And can I tell the story?
But
I'm gonna tell the
I
story.
love the dog.
I'm
Go ahead,
telling
tell
the story.
it.
Oh, you're
Tell
not
it.
telling the story. The telling the story about your worst animal.
No.
Yes, you are. No, you're telling the story of your worst animal.
Don't say it
Fine.
because I don't know what happened to the dog and I don't ever want to know.
Okay.
I would prefer. Let's just say that one day I loved that dog. And
No,
one
you're
day,
not allowed to say.
One day
Mom
it was
said I
gone.
couldn't.
I
It was
said
gone.
stop. Yes,
Okay,
we
that's
had
gone.
we had to
All right, let's go.
rehome him.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
Ashley Barlett just threw 10 for love.
Okay, let's go.
we got Kenneth Pace says you guys are the best through
Thank
20.
you.
Hey, thank you so much, Joey Lee
And
What was that? That
and
was
Kenneth.
Oh yeah, Joey Lee said that we just
We just got
literally
it
just
yesterday.
got it.
Yes.
And I thought
so yes.
Beth reached out to you, but yes.
Yes,
we
Yes,
did
I
say
finally it
thank
came
you.
in. It was
My
pretty.
wood.
It was pretty beat up.
Yeah, but luckily the stuff you sent us was sturdy, so nothing was
Yes, it
damaged.
did.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cool.
that's
I
good.
appreciate it.
So
I-
thank you. Yeah.
I'm working on nailing it to the tree in the backyard. So shout
that's
out.
dope.
Nice,
Shout out, Joey.
nice. Thanks, Joey.
Sharon just threw 99 cents.
Thanks, Sharon.
And what was the one before that? On
Thank
top
you,
of that, I'm
Sherry,
sorry,
very
Oh,
Kenneth.
Kenneth just says you guys are the best.
Oh, thanks,
Oh
Kenneth.
my goodness, Kenneth.
You're
What a,
so
You're
what
the
a
best.
guy.
You're the best.
What
What a
champ-
guy.
What a
Love that
champion.
guy.
What was
Kenny.
that? Wait, what did that say? How the chopsticks?
Yeah, let me see what those chopsticks are working with. Ashley Barlett says, "How is the chopsticks doing, baby?" I said,
Thanks for everything you guys do. I want to come down from Canada
What's
when everything opens up.
chopsticks?
"I don't know what the chopsticks are."
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
Brian likes to use them.
I
I-
love chopsticks.
I
At
just
one
used-
time, let me
used
tell a quick.
chopsticks
Go ahead.
on ramen the other day.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, I was just going to say that. Remember when we were at a Japanese steakhouse? And do you remember the story I'm about to
Probably.
tell? So I was,
You're the
eating with
worst.
chopsticks, and the guy literally said, "So, where was your tour of the Orient?" And I said, "What?" I said, "What?" He goes, "You just use chopsticks so well." So it was.
Oh my God, are you for real?
I swear to God,
Yeah.
this
When
happened.
was this?
Yeah,
This
is
was
the
several
shit-
years
This
ago.
is the shit that happens at
Where?
those
This is
Japanese
at
steakhouses.
where?
This is at Shogun.
Shogun.
No way.
Shogun.
That's
Yeah.
incredible.
And the
Yeah.
guy that was cooking it up.
No. This was
No. There's another
person
guy. You know how they
sitting,
sit like
you
different
know,
people.
the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And it
another,
was just another.
They were
Costa.
just
Just
so
an old
just
guy.
a random old guy that was just
He's
like
very
mesmerized by
impressed.
Jan's ability with his job.
He's like, "Sonny, where'd you have your Oriental Express? You chopsticks so well."
Yes, I chop six so well. Yes, I do.
And he said Panda
Okay.
Express.
I just picked these up at Pandas.
So Brian says, love y'all's content. My love of reptiles became a lot stronger due to watching your videos.
Thank you so much, Brian.
was that
Knoll.
guy's name?
Brian Knoll.
Brian.
Brian.
Oh my!
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
And then OM $50 says straight up ballin'. Keep up the good vibes.
Thanks so
Hey,
much,
thank you.
brother. I appreciate you,
I
man.
think the vibes are strong because we've been meditating.
I have been meditating.
Dude,
a
I've been
lot,
meditating.
actually. Have you been meditating?
I accidentally meditated for an hour and a half last night.
Get out of here.
It was 12 o'clock. I just went like this, and I may have fell asleep.
I was going to say, I think that's called sleeping, bro.
Something
but
else.
I was just like this, and then I woke up, and I was like, but like I felt like I was there, and then I
I
clicked
felt
the thing,
good.
and it was
Well, listen.
1:30, and I was
Listen,
like, damn.
Stuart from Universal Rocks. He's one of the people that inspired me to start meditating. Of course, my boy Sadi
I was
Guru.
going to say
Sadi Guru,
yes.
who I love. I still follow on TikTok and
he's
everywhere
awesome.
else. He's great. But he told me of a yogi that meditated for 20 hours a day for 20 years.
You know what?
That's cool.
I want to do that.
What do you
Would you support me?
Yes, you have to go up to the mountains of the Himalayas,
I would support you.
Perfect.
I would support
Would
you.
Support
what
me?
do you think? I get it now. I was a little slow, but I get it.
Yeah.
But do you think he comes out like? What is his mindset? Like, what is his mindset?
Well, I don't
when he
know.
Comes out?
I don't know because
is he God? Does he come out God?
I don't know because they talk about how you can hit this this realm through meditation where you are connected to the universe and you can actually manipulate your own body, like sicknesses and diseases and all kinds of stuff. That's what they say. And I know Sadhguru talked about one time how he meditated so deeply at one point that he thought he had only meditated for 10 minutes and it was almost 3 days.
Usually it's the opposite. Usually, it feels very long, but it's a very short time.
Yeah, this was he went so deep that he thought he was only down for a long.
So you're saying
like,
so I'm
Sadi?
very curious.
You're like
okay.
Sadi Guru.
So all right. This is where my mind goes with this.
Okay, let's hear
you're
it.
saying he meditated for 3 days.
Hell yeah.
Your body is still a body.
Not when you're in meditation.
you're
There's bodily
meditating.
functions.
No.
So did he?
You piss
you're
and
saying
shit.
he didn't? Piss himself for 3 days of sitting there.
Wait a
or did he
second.
wake up to a hot mess?
There's a big
literally.
So you know where my mind
Because-
goes with this?
You fast. You fast before intermittent fat. No poop.
Well, yeah, they actually do fast. Fasting is important too. But where my mind goes is from an entrepreneurial standpoint. Like, is there a product we can develop for people that are going to meditate for 3 days? That
like an
collect the
adult
pee and
type.
poo.
So
Yeah.
So okay, because I thought you were
called a
gonna go
catheter.
spiritual like something, but I'm like you're brushing over the fact of what I said.
No, I
Because
understand. Listen,
how does
I'm not-
that happen? Does
I'm
your
not s-
body
listen.
stop working?
Listen, I'm not
Or
saying
do you
I
wake up and
I know
deal
the
with
answers.
the results.
Listen to this.
I want answers.
I'm giving you an answer right here. And guess what? You're not going to say that it's false. You're just going to say that it's true. Bang. Look at that. That was some hypnosis shit.
Yeah.
But
No, it wasn't.
yeah, but you're about to believe this. So when so when you're meditating, right?
Who the fuck do you think you are? I
But you're gonna believe this.
David
You don't believe
Copperfield over
this,
here.
all right? And so when you're meditating, you're in touch with the universe. So the universe is feeding you. You don't need real food because the universe is feeding you.
That's true. I
mean,
believe
I
that.
guess the only thing that I would say is if you did fast for so many hours before you did, then you would be clean. But then the same thing goes. Like, I mean, that's a lot of time.
Well, listen,
So
I don't.
I'm just curious.
I don't claim to know the answers.
Can we
I'm
get
just
a hold of Sadhguru and get
I wish
the
we
answers?
could. It's
How
like,
many followers does he
Can
have
you
on TikTok?
message
Oh my
him?
God,
Can you
millions.
message him on TikTok?
You have millions
I
too,
want to
though.
know.
Yeah.
So you can
I think we
reach
can.
out.
So reach Jay. Can you do me a favor? Reach out to
Type
Sadhguru
this
and
down.
ask for a collab. All right.
All right, I got you, dude.
Write that down on the board.
I'm gonna
I
write
want-
it down on my
I
notes.
It's a
would love
whiteboard.
to have
Oh, the
that
whiteboard, yeah.
on
Whiteboard.
this show because I've got so many questions.
Yeah,
for
so many
him.
questions for
And
Sadhguru.
they have to do with bodily function.
I would really love a live podcast with Sadi. With Sadi.
Sadi?
And I would love it with Sadi. Oh, it sounds like sardine.
I actually love
but,
the dude, man.
But no, me too. I love the fucking guy. We're
I don't
tight,
know.
man. We're
I don't
tight.
know him.
Yeah.
You know? But if he was sitting there and then we all like kind of linked hands.
And we just meditated for
And-
hours.
No.
Yeah, but live and Jay would be there with the switcher. Of
Yeah,
course,
switching. Yeah, through
But
all the compelling
we're not really
content.
talking. We're just
No, just meditating.
we're just breathing into the mic, almost
Breathing.
ASMR
You guys
like.
Yeah.
are so boring.
That's actually a good idea.
Okay, let's
Great
move
idea.
on.
All right, next one says.
Jot that one down, please.
I got you.
Thank you.
As Creatures Realm says, hi Brian, I love your videos. I have a YouTube channel called Creatures Realm, and can you show it? And there you go, shameless plug. You're
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank
well,
you
there you
so
go.
much.
Creatures
Creatures?
Realm. Hopefully
Creatures
your
Realm.
stuff is good.
Your stuff is great, man.
Amanda,
Amanda
you are a
Fuqua?
baller, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, she's
man.
balling out with a
Whoa.
A
hundo.
lightning pied. What's a lightning
What did
pied?
she say?
Says, hey, I'm looking to purchase my first reptile, holding out for a lightning pied. Is there
Wow.
any different behavior-wise between a male or female ball python? For instance, one tending to be more defensive or aggressive than the other.
Thankfully, with some snakes, you do see some differences. With ball pythons, males and females are the same. Lightning pied is an axanthic pied, by the way.
Oh.
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
So,
Yeah,
so,
that
but
cool.
Theoretically, a lightning pied is a Marcus Jane axanthic ball
That
python
specific line.
because he's got a specific line of axanthics.
Yep.
Of course,
so
there's
it's another one that's
it's
not
another one that's not
course.
compatible with Snake Keeper or VPI.
Or the-
So you could have VPI
or the Jolliffe one too, right?
You can have a VPI axanthic pied, or a Snake Keeper axanthic pied. Jolliffe, no one even breeds those anymore. They're done because they were
ugly.
garbage. I mean, they weren't. They just weren't that pretty. So people
Yeah, they
stopped
were
breeding
ugly,
them.
that's what I said.
But I don't think that you're supposed to call them lightning pieds unless they're Marcus Jane, even though
Gotcha.
they're the same exact thing. So beautiful, but yes, males and females exactly the same.
Let me tell you something. Those cinnamon pines we
Cinnamon
had
pies
they
were
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 beautiful.
cool as hell.
Yeah, those are
So,
super cool. But that's good. Let us know if we can help you in any way. We appreciate your support on everything. You're fantastic. I just lost my train of thought
I know.
halfway
Finish
through
your
it.
thought real quick. and
I was
then
just
we'll-
going to
It's
say you're
done.
fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I have this memory as a kid. And I want you to verify if it's true or not.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I had a favorite ball python, and I don't know why. It was the pattern that made me like it, obviously. But it was called the Viper.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
Viper Ball.
Yeah.
And I used to like that one. Is that around?
All right, so let me tell the story of the Viper Ball python really
Let's
quick.
tell the sad story.
The sad story of the
Because,
Viper
like-
Ball
All right,
python.
guys,
I
buckle
just
up.
before we go, and because I don't know any of the truth, I just remember being a kid
Yeah.
looking at it, and I
Yeah.
feel like I told you should breed this
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because I
Right.
liked it.
Yeah, so
did.
so this was in the heyday of ball pythons, coming out of West
Okay.
Africa. And we had this is the same as a matter of fact, the same year we bought the Viper Ball, we bought the Sunset Project.
Right.
The Sunset
well,
Male.
can I just preface this to
Yeah.
say,
Go ahead.
okay.
Uh-oh. What
you
did I
guys-
bring up?
No,
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
going to say that, okay, in the heyday of ball pythons and, oh my God, these people made so much money.
Yeah.
This is how this stuff happened,
Yeah.
is you put out a shit ton of money
Yeah.
for unproven stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you made your money.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
you
I always
didn't.
said that, the way with a person like me, it's like if I made
yeah.
200,000.
It was a gamble, just like
Yeah.
going to Vegas.
Yeah, if I made
you know?
$200,000, I spent
Yep.
$210,000 on the next project. That's
Oh,
how my
yeah.
projects went. But so the Viper Ball was the same year as the Sunset Project,
Okay.
and it was $55,000 for a Viper Ball
Wow.
python outside of
One
in
snake that
one
they
snake,
found.
a Kragana. And it was a bush baby, so it wasn't even captive hatch. It was very interesting looking. Unfortunately, it was before the internet really was happening, so we don't. I mean, there's one shitty picture
Yeah.
online of the animal.
I don't even think we had smartphones back then.
No,
to
we did
take
not have
pictures or anything.
smartphones.
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
that's
no,
why there's not a
no,
whole
no,
lot
no,
of
no,
pictures
no.
of it.
No,
because-
there's one picture I know of, and it still surfaces online, so you can look
Yeah.
it up. It's actually the picture online now is comes from the Ralph Davis forum way back in the day. It's still
my
on there.
goodness. Yeah, that is.
So,
how
anyways,
long
point
ago
is, it was a boy. We bred it. I produced a whole bunch of. First off, I thought it might be co-dominant.
Okay.
And so I produced a whole bunch of normal-looking offspring, a whole bunch,
Yeah.
like 20 of them. And so I thought, all right, well, it's got to be recessive because it was a wildly radical different, like you said,
Yeah,
looked
it
very
looked
different.
cool, yeah.
Super cool. And the reason it was called a Viper Ball Python is Emmanuel Noah in Accra, Ghana, the guy from Africa, said he thought it looked like a cross between a Gaboon Viper and a ball python.
Yeah.
And so, regardless, we raised it up. We produced babies. We raised those babies up. We bred them every way to Sunday. I mean, we bred them, head to head.
Well,
we bred,
What's funny as a side note is you worked that project way harder.
Yeah, and we
than
didn't work the
than
Sunset.
the Sunset
Yeah.
project.
The Sunset
Yeah.
I thought was a dead project, and then
Yep.
ultimately down the road the Sunset worked out, and then the Viper Ball there was never it just
Yeah.
wasn't
So weird.
genetic.
It was
Just
just a random one-time mutation that never pure.
Yeah, so it never reproduced. Yeah, it never.
Okay, that's really interesting to me. Cause like I said, I was a kid that I really liked that snake, and now skip forward, and now this was a few months ago. I think that of course I'm blanking on the name. Nerd. He
Yeah.
has this like really cool eclipse
Paradox.
ball python. Oh yeah,
Paradox.
paradox. I
Yeah,
said eclipse. I
paradox,
meant
yeah.
to say paradox. Ball python that was
Yeah.
in your last visit to his
Yep,
place.
I remember.
And I remember I asked you, I was like, no way, like, can you reproduce that? And you're like,
Yeah,
no, it's one of
no.
a kind, but,
Yeah.
if someone wants to pay big bucks, you can do it. But
Yeah.
the moral of the story was, it's sad you can't reproduce those.
So is that
because
one
they're
of
really
his like
beautiful.
5 million mutations?
No, it was
or
just
is that an import?
no. It was a. We produced paradox.
I think it
before.
was
It's a
actually
paradox.
relatively
Okay.
mild.
Oh, so
yeah.
it's just a paradox.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a
It was just a
paradox.
paradox.
Well,
It's just a
Kevin,
paradox.
Kevin has these
Right.
things
Yeah.
with like literally 20 genes that you could never reproduce.
Yeah,
if
no,
you
It was
wanted
just
to,
a
so I didn't
really
know.
cool
Okay.
paradox.
Yeah,
like
it was
it was
just a really
gray
cool-
and
yeah,
like
it was really-
black.
yeah,
and
it was
the
really beautiful.
bold whites.
Yeah, it was super beautiful, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a one-off. Paradoxing is just bleeding of genes, basically what
So
happens. So
cool,
it doesn't
though.
reproduce. Now there's the chimeras that are genetic. Where you can't reproduce that exact thing, but if you had 3 genes in it, all 3 genes would reproduce. And we had one early on. It was actually a Cinepin winner spite or something. And so when you bred it, it would produce like all of those genes.
Weird.
But you couldn't breed; it wouldn't produce together. So
Yeah,
so it's
so-
like
Oh yeah,
split
it didn't make
genes.
like a super. Of
Yeah,
everything.
right, yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense then. Because
Genetics
I
is
was-
so weird.
No,
It's
it is
awesome.
really weird. It is really weird. Like, and people just never loved the viper as it was enough to just breed those.
Well,
Well,
no, you
no.
couldn't reproduce it.
It
It wasn't
never
genetic.
reproduced.
It was just
Oh,
a
yeah.
one-off.
It was
a
just
one-off.
a-
yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah, no,
sorry.
they
no, that makes sense.
totally.
We tried
it would have been
everything we
great.
could,
It
yeah.
would have been a big project if it worked out. It just didn't work out, and so
What if this? Is there a way to tell what is inside of the viper? And what I mean by that is the genetics. What is inside of the viper genetics?
no,
No?
unfortunately, no. There's no way
Because-
to you could map the genome, but you couldn't. You would have to find the actual protein on the allele that makes the
Right.
gene.
Yeah.
But in this case, it wasn't reproducible, so you could
Okay.
never reproduce it.
Right. Okay.
The
But
only
look at-
way you
wait.
do it-
Please. So, no. So what I was saying is like, so if you could find out what made it.
Nothing made it.
No,
I know.
he's
I'm
meaning
just,
like the
kinda
fact that the phenotype's
I'm just
even
kinda
there.
Theoretically speaking, like I'm not saying this is real science, but what if, like, if there was something that made the viper, what if you could like find the 2 species or whatever that made it, and then have a whole bunch of those breeding to try to make it again?
Well, yeah, it just doesn't work that way. That's
I
just
know-
not how
okay.
it works.
Again,
you know?
I don't know
Yeah.
shit.
No, I
man.
know,
No,
I know, but
it's
it
just
just
a
doesn't work.
random-
Yeah,
Shit's
it's
fucking
like
confusing.
it's like
It was probably
like Ben
2
and Jerry.
normal ball pythons.
Yeah, it's
and
just
it was
2 normal
just
ball pythons,
a
yeah.
random thing that just popped up, color or whatever.
Every time that
is
something
just
breeds.
not,
It
yeah,
mutates.
it's just a complete one-off mutation that can never reproduce. So there's no way you could ever reproduce it. It'd be impossible. You couldn't reverse engineer it. You know, it's just a one-off. And that was like I said, we spent $55,000 on that snake.
So
And
crazy.
there was a
just,
lot
you
of
know.
things actually that did come and were found that people paid a lot of money. Like that was one
Yeah.
of many
Oh,
that
yeah.
different people and us paid a lot of money
Yeah.
for. And like I said, that was the gamble you take. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get this.
Well, yeah, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some animals we paid a ton of money for that didn't work out. There were some animals we didn't pay a lot of money for that worked out
Yeah.
really, really well.
And that was the game
And
you
that
play.
was the game you played. And it's a tight breeding snakes. It's like what I used to call a speculative breeding market, right? So like when you're buying a clown and you're buying a pied, you know what you're getting. But when you start speculating with genes out of the wild, you never know what you're getting. You could get something crazy. It could be something else. And then you also got to keep in mind that a lot of the people
Yeah.
that were dealing in West Africa were
I
not
guess what I
good
was-
people either.
What I was trying to get out of it, what I was saying I didn't then, but now I can kind of get it, is like, what if there was a scientific way to do that? Like,
GMO.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. Have a ball python, and you do catch it in the wild, okay? And through whatever freaking science probe or take a little DNA strand out of it, and then you can tell.
So you're
the
talking
genes.
Jurassic Park.
Well, no,
Maybe.
well,
I don't know.
See, this
level
is the
where
thing.
they were like
right.
taking.
I'm not a
the
scientist. I'm
DNA
just-
you
strands.
can map the locus that it's on. You
Yes.
can do that, but only if it's reproducible.
I know we're past the viper. I know
yeah.
the viper's no longer
Yeah.
reproducible.
But there's just no
Just
there's
talking-
the money it would cost to do it.
Yeah.
You could just breed the animal yourself.
And find out.
Yeah, I mean, because it's going to cost you $50,000 just to find and maybe 2 years, depending on who it is, to find the thing. You could just do it yourself and not. So there's no need for it. So I had thought about early on in the ball pythons when bananas were $63,000 and stuff like that. I talked to some geneticists about, hey, could we actually locate that and start artificially inseminating into and doing, and it just the finances just didn't make sense, It's just, nature is nature. And also the fact that ball pythons go from, $50,000 to $500 before you would have the genetics behind it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So
in 2 years it could go down that much value.
and it had. I mean, literally the banana was a perfect example. It went from $63,000 to under $200 in 4 years.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
Yeah, think about that.
And it's a hard place because, personally, obviously, I don't breed reptiles like you guys do. I'm just born into the family, so but like it's cool that people can have such a beautiful snake at a value like that.
Well, I'm actually now I'm happy about it, right? Because we don't sell investment snakes, right? Like we stopped selling investment snakes about 4. That doesn't mean that people can't buy them and produce them and make money on them. That's not what we just don't sell investment snakes as that way. But some people still buy thousands of dollars worth of snakes from us, but we don't say, hey, buy this and produce it and make more. It's up to you if you want to do it, and if you want advice, we'll do it. But we're not selling you as an investment anymore. So I'm actually happy that some of these animals that used to be out of touch are now in touch. The fact that you could buy a pied for $400 is freaking awesome.
That is awesome.
I mean, that's a beautiful snake for very cheap.
Yeah, how much did we pay for our first?
$25,000.
And it died.
And it died 7 days later.
Whoa, that's
that would make you want to shoot you in the foot. Just
and we didn't get anything for that either.
Yeah, it literally. And what happened was, I won't talk about who I got it from, but this was before it was proven.
What's it rhyme with? No, I'm just
So this was before it was proven genetic. So this is a wild caught male, and we bought it from a guy that had it, and I got it, and literally I was like. The minute I got it, I called him. I was like, dude, because we no emails, no text. Call him up, and I said, dude, this animal doesn't look good, man. It's like it was like half the weight it should have been. I'm like, I'm really scared. And he was like, dude, you're just stressing out, blah, blah. He goes, don't worry. And I go, well, what if something happens to this animal? And he's like, I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Literally 7 days later, I come in, open the drawer, it's dead. And I call him up, and he's like, dude, I can't guarantee that, man. What am I gonna do? And I just had to eat the money. Yeah, we had to just eat it, And but like I said, I would have sent it back because I wasn't happy from the minute I got it. Now the good news there was good news about this is that a guy named Ernie Wagner out in Seattle, who was a legend in the industry for many, many years, still around, but he just doesn't really do any animals anymore because he's probably got to be in his 80s by now.
Yeah,
he's got to be in his 80s now. But Ernie had actually bred a pied and produced heterozygous gene carriers.
Okay.
But it wasn't proven that it was genetic yet. So Ernie called us up and said, hey, I heard you lost this pied. He had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But he felt bad for me. And he said, hey, I was trying to sell these pairs of potential heterozygous for $2,500 a pair. He said, I feel so bad for you. If you want a pair for $1,000, I'll give him $1,000.
That's cool.
So I bought the pair of hets.
Yeah.
Get this. 2 years later, we bred the pair. We hatched out a male pied.
Interesting.
And they sold for $25,000. I sold it to a guy named John Romeo in New York for $25,000. He literally drove out to our place from New York, gave me $25,000 cash. Took the animal. I was depressed because I wanted to keep it, but it was a lot of money.
But I was like, hell no, you're selling that shit.
Yeah, it's 25 grand. So this was the interesting thing is that 5 years later, pieds had come down a lot. 5 years later, pieds had come down a lot. And John, by the way, John made a crap load of money because he raised that thing in like 8 months and produced a crap load of heteros that were selling for like 20 grand a pair for hets.
Once they were proven, that was the thing with Ernie.
Funny?
It wasn't proven yet. So until a gene was proven, like you couldn't get big money for it.
Yeah, no one wanted to even buy it because they might have just been normals.
We bought that pair for $1,000.
Exactly. And that's the gamble you took, though.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's the gamble you took.
And that's the thing that
There's
people
a lot of
have
gambles.
to understand. Like, oh, you're just so lucky because, well, no, guess
ain't
what?
lucky.
We did a lot of stupid shit. we won some, we lost a lot. Like,
yeah, we lost a lot.
But we took
a lot.
mortgages on the house to
we
take
really
gambles
did. We literally,
on shit.
we
Like,
literally,
you don't even
yeah.
know the shit this guy has put me through.
Yeah, no. We really did second mortgage the house multiple
I
times.
know, man.
Multiple times, not just one.
Yeah.
I know, man.
I don't do that anymore. I would never
Christmas.
do that anymore.
Hell no, you don't do that
No.
anymore.
But my
we
point,
don't gamble Vegas. We gamble snakes.
well, we did. We used to. Not anymore. Not anymore. But the thing that's interesting is about 5 years later, John Romeo sold me the same mail back, the original mail back. I think we paid like $3,500 for it. So it was nice. We made 25. We brought it back, and then I emotionally was able to come back and say, "Hey, I got my mail pied that I first produced." So
and it's so funny
cool.
because you were telling me today or the other day how you've never had eggs from a female pied.
Yeah, did you know that we never bred a female pied before?
cool to hear the
Because we've
beginning.
always done. So we have a couple female pieds that are due to lay any. Well, one's due to lay any day, one's later on. But so they'll be the first pied to pied we've ever bred.
Oh yeah, because we always did hats.
We always did hats.
Yeah.
We did pied to head.
it was cheaper.
Because it was cheaper because you could sell the female pieds for big money, keep the hets for cheaper, and it just made sense. But now we have female pieds, so that's pretty exciting.
That's
Super
cool.
chat.
Cool. Mike says Spotify is full of ads, and I despite ads.
I get that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry to hear that,
Irritate me
Mike.
too, but-
And with that said, this brought to you.
Yeah, this is brought to you by Bly.
This is brought to you by
And by Behringer
Brothers. All right,
Said
go
no
ahead.
more.
Potterhead says, "Hey, Barcheck family and crew, thanks for keeping me sane as my son has had 2 surgeries on his knee,
man.
not juvenile arthritis, but an infection. We also decided on a leopard gecko for him. Tips for a first timer."
First off, I hope your son gets better.
Yes.
Second, leopard geckos are super easy. I mean, really, really easy animals. You get a good setup, and mealworms.
You know what I do?
What's that?
Sandbox in the backyard.
No, that's not what you do.
No, don't do that. But super easy, and feel free to
It's a dry room tonight.
literally.
Yeah, reach out to us at BH3
reach out to us.
Reptiles.
We can talk about
We're
it. Yeah.
more than happy to help.
Don't do the sandbox. I shouldn't have to say that, but I kind of have
Don't.
to say that.
Yeah, you don't.
Mike
Comes back and says, already pay for YouTube Premium and Pandora Premium and won't watch Spotify with ads.
I think that we hit a thing with Mike. I
Yeah,
think
he's
he's pretty
upset.
pissed off.
You
He's
know
gonna be
what,
super
Mike?
chatting all night, Mike.
There is
I know.
nothing
It's like-
wrong with that.
And let me tell you something else about Spotify.
yeah, fuck Spotify. Yo.
And if that's how you feel, I respect that because sometimes I take a stand on shit too. So go you.
Mike spends $150 on
Super
super chats telling us how much he doesn't want to see.
You won't pay for
I was thinking the same
Spotify.
thing.
He's like, I will not pay for them ads.
I'm not paying for shit ever.
I despise it.
I was like,
It's
listen,
$5 a month.
Yeah.
$60 worth of super
No,
chat.
Mike,
That shit.
Mike, you know we love you.
Yeah,
dude.
we really do.
We really,
It's
really
just
do
super
love you.
funny.
We're
Love
you
you,
are
Mikey.
awesome, man.
Deborah says, hi, Brian, Lori, and Noah. Can you tell the difference between a carpet python and a scrub python? I guess personally, I'm sure yes, but that's all it says. Love the
Yeah,
vlog.
I mean,
In my
it's-
sleep.
Yeah, I mean, they're just.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're just really different animals. I
Very.
mean, I hate
So
to say that.
much.
I mean, they're both pythons, but like, yeah, I mean, if you look at a picture of a scrub and you look at a picture of a carpet, they're
Oh, yeah.
very different, you know? So,
It's not guess who.
you-
You know.
no. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's like the difference. I'd say it's an analogous to like,
I want to test Noah on this. Just saying later.
yeah, later we'll show him pictures and see if he can see. But it's kind of similar. It's kind of similar to like a Burmese and a retic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
both
Is it-
giant
so
snakes,
is
but they're,
it,
you know.
or is it more similar to a Nelson's and a Sinaloan?
No.
Okay.
No. Nelsons and Sinaloans, you have to be good to. You have to
Okay.
know what you're looking at. You got triad counts and stuff like that. No, a scrub, although it's in the same,
Well, yeah.
but
They
they're
definitely
they're
do look different.
They look very different.
like same difference between like a carpet and a green tree. Like it's like that
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
you
I
know
mean
what
it's pretty different.
Yeah,
but
like
but
the
I mean,
rug on the
you know,
floor.
So scrubbies are much.
That's how easy
yeah.
it is. It's like I'm looking at the rug
Is a carpet
compared
versus
to a
sponge?
python. It's like, bitch, I know the difference.
Between a carpet and a scrub. No, but no,
Oh,
they're
God, life is
they're
good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Brown says, "Hey guys, what would you pair a male queen bee clown with if you could choose just one female?"
You know, I always tell people
That's a
this.
hard one.
It's not so. It's not really that hard in the sense that anything you want to is the answer. You know, back in the day, it made sense to breed this to this to this.
Well-
You'd be like, don't waste that male on that female. Now it doesn't
what do you
matter.
want to produce?
Yeah,
That's the
whatever you
whole
want to
thing.
produce. Exactly.
Exactly. You can do the genetic calculator and see if I do this, I get this. If I, you know what, and pick what you think is the coolest.
Yeah, because there's no longer a right or a wrong.
Yeah.
There's whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever color schemes or patterns you like.
Holy shit.
50 for the
Irish Wolfhound.
Fun. Says from one lorry to another.
Holy shit, man! I guess we're getting an Irish Wolfhound.
Can I talk about dogs for just 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I had this
always.
because I love dogs so much that I want multiple of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But recently I've been staying home more, obviously, and I've been with Zeus more.
Yeah.
And it's made me change my mind, I think.
Really?
I think I just want one dog
That's really well behaved.
That's really loyal, well behaved, and I can take wherever I want, like Bruce does with Zoe.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a German Shepherd, maybe whatever.
They're so smart.
It depends on what you want to do, because you know what? Neither one of mine, like I see pictures and videos of people say paddleboarding with their dogs.
Okay.
Both of our dogs are
Would
too
jump
big.
off, yeah.
They're just too big.
they're
It
too
wouldn't
big,
work.
yeah.
So they're always smaller dogs. I'm like, oh my God,
do with
that's
a
so
teacup
awesome.
dog.
Yeah.
No, like I've seen some
Like
decent,
a Labradoodle or
you know,
something
like
like that.
I don't like Labradoodles, but but you could get like a mid-size that would be okay.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's it. You decide like what you want to do, because I don't see you as like a little carrier
I want
kind
big
of like
dog.
little
Big
pocket dog that just kind of like sits in a purse.
I have like a-
but like,
I want a big dog, but I also want a French
How's it
bulldog.
feeling with Zeus now? You happy spending time with him, or are you like that
Yeah.
dog's a pain in the ass?
No, I
he's
love
getting
that dog.
better.
I do love that dog.
Every year that goes by, he does get better.
is
That's what I
awesome.
said.
I've
He
been
is going to be the
training him.
perfect dog
When
by the
just
time he
dies.
dies. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because that's just how
You
his
finally
life is
made it,
going.
buddy.
It took him. It
So
took him
sad.
4 years to get out of the puppy phase.
Yeah, yeah.
Because he's a shepherd, and then every year that goes by, he gets better and better.
Yeah, now he's
and
6.
Then, yeah, and he's starting to get. I do feel bad because he's starting to get old. He's limping a little bit. He's getting some issues.
Yeah.
He's getting very gray.
He is getting great.
He is so handsome.
He's a
though.
good
Why I
dog,
love him
though.
so much.
He's super
He looks
loyal.
like a skunk when
You
he
like
lays
the thing I
over.
love
He's
about
got the white
shepherds.
belly.
There's plus and minuses to shepherds, right? But the thing I do love is like you never find a more loyal dog.
Oh no.
I mean that dog. You
They're
can
always
see why.
protecting you.
Yeah.
They're always watching you, and they always want to be touching and loving.
I've been whistle training this dog.
Yeah.
I swear. Like I'll just like do a whistle. I won't do it on here because like audio
you.
and stuff.
Thank you.
But I'll whistle and like 9 out of 10 times he'll come running to me.
Oh yeah.
I don't even
Well,
have
they're
to
so
say anything.
smart.
I just do
You
the
know.
same whistle every time, same whistle,
He comes
and they come. And Phoebe follows Zeus. She doesn't know what
She
the
won't.
hell.
Yeah, she's
doing.
just
she
like,
won't
"Where's he
do it
going?"
on her own. I was gonna say she's.
Yeah,
she's
but
Yeah,
Zeus
she's like,
comes.
she's not.
You're
Smart.
giving him attention. I'm gonna make sure he's not getting attention.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why she comes.
That's the only reason why she comes. All right.
Literally.
So Sharon says, yeah, the flooding is in Midland, Michigan.
Yeah, it's tough up there. Yeah, like I said, our son-in-law's family's from there.
Chopsticks, the turtle we got.
Actually, didn't get chopsticks.
Yeah, we didn't get
Yeah, we
chopsticks.
didn't get. That's still down in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, that chopsticks.
I was
yep.
gonna say, who the hell's chopsticks?
Tanya
turtle.
says,
from
just
the
lots of love
Netherlands?
from the Netherlands.
Awesome.
Ooh, I
Hello,
love
on my
to
love.
visit
list.
one
We
time.
love it.
Yep,
Yeah,
on
the
my
Netherlands.
list. of
Yep.
They're
places
really
to
good
go.
at soccer as
They
well.
are good at soccer.
They, like
They're good at.
they have
at
good
tulips, right? Is that what they do?
like they
That's Holland.
people from the Netherlands. No, this is a real story. Mom, listen to this. This is crazy. People from the Netherlands, like men and stuff, they look like really intimidating when
They
they
wear-
shave their head bald. And
Mhm.
if you're from the Netherlands, like
they wear wooden
weird.
shoes.
Let me
too,
tell you a
right?
quick Netherlands story.
it's the way their face is shaped.
I love the Dutch. I really do. And
Wow.
I was in Germany. In Germans as a whole, it's a great country, but they're not like super friendly. You know, what I mean, they're not like
What?
it's just
What?
like Steph.
What do you mean?
They're a
Germans
gruff
aren't
people?
friendly?
They're a gruff people. It's just like our friend Stefan said. You Americans just like to talk too much.
Yeah.
You know, because he just wants
I
to get
might-
to the point.
You know, and I might have a lot of German in me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Laura's
I
a little
kinda feel
German.
like
Yeah.
that too.
So, but my point is, so
You're
I
so
was
damn
leaving.
chatty.
I was leaving Ham, Germany, and I was taking a train to a place called Oberhausen, and then the connection from Oberhausen to Netherlands, and I was flying out of the Netherlands the next morning to head home. And so I was alone. I was all alone. So I get on the train in actually Dortmund, and I travel to Oberhausen. And first off, on the train, no one says a word to me. You know, I mean, like they're very whatever. I get off the train. I'm just trying to find this train to Oberhausen or from Oberhausen to Holland, and like I'm asking people, they're like kind of rude, like, you know, they speak English, but they don't want to really talk to me. I'm like, just can you tell me what the sign says so I can get on my train to get to
the worst.
you know, like, please help me. Anybody, please help me. And this is like before my cell phone would work. And so I'm literally
like,
like
BlackBerry days.
Oh,
this is like
before
BlackBerry.
that,
Yeah, flip phone.
You didn't even
maybe,
have a BlackBerry.
Yeah, but I remember it didn't work. So I remember sitting on this platform. It's platform 7. I'll never forget. I was sitting on this platform 7 thinking like, please let this train come. Because if not, it was the last train to Netherlands that night.
Forever.
No, just for that night. Just the last train for the night. And I would miss my flight.
This damn thing.
Well, but then I'd miss my flight in the morning to get home, you know? So I was really freaking out. And the train was late. First off, the train's late by 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, this is... Finally, some kid, like a college kid, I go, do you know what is going on with this train?
Go, hello.
I go, do you know what's going on with this? And he goes, oh, yes, the sign says it's going to be 30 minutes late. And I was like, oh, thank God. So literally, I get on the train, and it's mainly Dutch. And literally, from the minute I walk on the train, they're like, so you're from America? And we like hung out the entire way. The entire way back.
So cool.
They were super cool. And I'm not saying Germans are jerks. I'm just saying like,
I mean, they did
I went from feeling
take over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went from feeling like very uncomfortable, like no one wants to help me, to all of a sudden, like the whole trip from Uberhausen to Amsterdam was like them telling me what I should do. Like, oh, you should go hang out here. You should do this. You can. And so I love the Netherlands. So.
That's awesome. That's
They're
why I
very,
loved my UK extravaganza. Was because the people were just so friendly.
Yeah.
They honestly, they weren't like rude, like, oh, you're in my country. They were just like chill
and
and told you where to go.
We were in Italy was like that.
Oh,
too.
Italy was great. Yeah, they were super great.
Love
I
it.
mean, people loved us.
Awesome. So Elijah says, Brian, you and your crew, you and your channel have changed my life, helped
thank
my
you.
personal goals, my love for animals grow. I wrote you guys a letter also in my appreciation for everything you guys are.
Well, Elijah,
much,
thank you so
Elijah.
much, man. We appreciate you.
And if you haven't got around to it, watch the Book of Eli.
It is. It's a good one.
It is actually a really good one.
No, don't.
No, it's a good
What?
one. Come on, Denzel Washington.
Oh, I was thinking that Life of Pi.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
that was terrible.
Life of Pi is dope. I love Life of Pi.
Yeah.
Someone ends up on a boat with a tiger. Like, what the
That's
fuck
like
is going on?
It's a metaphor.
Joe Exotic.
It's
It's a prequel.
That's the type of movie I meditate to.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Hmm,
You mean
3
sleep
days.
during.
All
oh
right.
yeah, what's that?
All right, the next one. It's Kaylin says, or Callan, thank you for your tips and tricks on feeding snakes. I just had to get my 13-foot retic to eat a rat, then chain feed her a rabbit, and it worked.
That's awesome. Yeah, we used to do that with Burmese pythons all the time to get them onto rabbits, you know.
crazy,
So, yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Awesome. So T-Mac says, always hyped to watch. Love the podcast. Any interesting band stories from the past, Brian? Also, Lori, when do you think Hognose will be up on the site?
Well, we just got eggs.
Yeah, literally.
So it takes time to hatch.
Couple months probably. Well, they probably got to hatch and then eat.
Then they
So a
gotta
couple
eat.
months.
What is
Band
it?
stories.
Let's have one band story.
Gosh, I don't
Probably
know,
August.
man. I don't know.
Let's
There's
just
so
one.
many.
Two on the
Yeah,
spot.
that's perfect.
There's so many.
Perfect. Okay, let's do this one.
You
Wait,
All right,
think
let me
about it.
tell you. No,
Let's-
let
is
me
there
just
more
tell.
to
Let me just
catch
tell.
up
Let me
on?
tell one really quick. All
and
right,
then
so
I'm gonna ask you another one.
all
'cause
right,
wanna
so
know
I
something.
always, as you guys know, I don't do things like
Half-ass?
half-assed. So I was in a band called Cemetery,
Yeah.
and we were going to play the Falcon Lounge, which was this kind of small bar, maybe
Dive bar? Yes.
300 people. But we used to pack them in every time we played the bar. It used to be packed, and so yeah, we
Pack
packed
'em in.
as we used to call it the room. We packed the room.
Pack
You know
the
what I
room.
mean? So
I'm trying to do.
so
Right
anyway,
in the
so I
salad.
build this stage show.
Oh, yeah.
I literally build crypts where we're going to come out of the crypts, these huge crypts that are built out of plywood that have torches on the front that would literally be cloth dipped in kerosene, lit on fire, and we're going to come out of these crypts when we open up, so that, like, you hear the intro music.
Clearly,
like,
it's a dive bar because they let these cloths wrapped in
Yeah, yeah.
kerosene be
So-
lit
so-
in their bar.
So
But go ahead.
needless to say, Uncle Dwayne
Oh, yeah.
and a couple other guys,
Huey.
road crew. And so sure enough, first off, goes off great. We got the fog machine going, got the eerie intro music.
Yeah.
The flames are going, crowds are cheering. We bust out of the crypts, we're jamming, going like crazy. Well, about halfway through the show, the kerosene is running out and stuff like that.
no.
So what does the road crew, Dwayne and the other guys do?
No.
They just start pouring kerosene on the thing. Now the entire floor is full of kerosene. And we have pyrotechnics, like blowing up and stuff like that. How we didn't burn that place down, I don't know. Because I remember, like, I had these, like,
Uncle Dwayne move.
Yeah, but thankfully we didn't burn the place down. Although every time I remember the bar manager used to be mad because every time at the end of our show the ceiling would be scorched from our pyros.
You'd have to paint it.
Yeah, we didn't have to, but he'd always be like, "You gotta not do so many pyrotechnics. Our ceiling is all messed up." So there's our band story.
And you were just like, "Fuck off."
Exactly.
I'm wearing tight leather jeans, bitch.
Spandex? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, dude.
I'm wearing a
Spandex,
ladies
man.
size 0. Fuck off.
Yeah. Just
I did. I was 115 pounds. Yeah.
Yep. He was smaller than me.
beautiful.
Yeah, when we
it's
started dating.
beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, I was going to ask you, you answered what I was going to ask you. I was just going to ask for an on-stage memory, and that was an on-stage memory, so
was.
you
There you
answered
go.
it. So
Yeah, that was
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, it's perfect. What's the next super
And
chat?
I will
That's
say,
awesome.
I will say
No, that
that,
was honestly
anyone that played in a band will tell you this. There is still to this day, there's never a feeling that you will get standing in front of
Yeah.
1,000 people or something like that playing music. There's that feeling you'll never get unless you do that.
Can
And,
I just say too that
Definitely.
that I think things are orchestrated in destiny, because had I known you at that time,
yeah.
I would have.
Oh, you would have been so into
I would
me.
have never.
you would have ravaged me.
Yeah.
I would have never given you the time of day. Literally,
you
after,
would've.
hell
Sure
no, I
would've.
wouldn't. That is not my type at all. And even in late, and
I
it
don't
makes
know. What
more
do you
sense
think?
because like we talked, but I didn't really know that he had done this shit. So when I would
Come
tell
on.
people,
I used to put the cucumber in the
after-
spandex.
Wait.
That's the
I
move,
do know what you
dude.
mean. But wait.
Shut the fuck
Wait,
up.
that's
And
crazy.
you probably did.
Wait,
So-
listen to this. This is
yeah.
going to be crazy right here.
All right.
Okay,
what?
go.
No, I'm talking
Oh.
about you.
So yeah, I had just graduated when we met.
Yes.
We met at a party.
Yes.
After I had graduated in the
Yes.
summer.
Yes.
And then so I kind of got to know you over the summer, and then as I was telling friends of mine
Yeah, it
who
was
you
bad,
were, they're like, "What?" They're like,
Yeah.
"You're going out with him?" I'm like, "What are you talking
Yeah, I
about?"
was-
And then they were like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "This is not at all the person you're saying. Like, what are
I
you
changed.
talking about?"
I
Yeah.
changed.
Because you weren't in a band. You
Yeah.
weren't doing that shit.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, when you're in a band, you become like a not every
asshole.
band, but no, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's true.
And I totally wouldn't
It's
have been
true.
into a fucking asshole.
No, it's true. Those days are, I think what happens is,
Dig it.
especially when you're really young, at 14, 15, 16, and all these people are doting on you and you have groupies and you have all this stuff. Because I was in there was a, relatively popular band in Detroit.
I
and-
never have
and,
been and never will be a groupie.
No,
Tell you that
yeah, I
right
know
now.
that. So my point is that yeah, you kind of, I always say you become a rock star in your own mind. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
were just playing dive bars, right? But you start thinking you're a rock star and you start acting like you think a rock star should act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
like
it's true.
and
No,
and,
for sure.
so,
and
yeah.
actually, no, and that's the thing. And there is a type of people which I'm sure there was that was just like, oh yeah,
And
you guys are a rock
Let's
star.
just
and I just
clarify
want to be with
something
you.
real quick. That's a fun lifestyle. Honestly, that's a fun fucking lifestyle.
I'm
And
sure
I-
it is. I'm sure
and-
he had fun, but I
and-
wouldn't have been following
And listen
it.
to this. If I had a choice, let's say I had a fucking button before if I was just an aura ready to choose a body and I had a button, all right, and it said normal life, wife and kids, joy 90, age 89. That's like what you live to when you
Right.
click start on the video game.
Yeah.
And then you had on this side
yeah.
27
Whoa.
age, right?
Holy shit.
Rock star, top of the world from 22 to 27, top of the world, right? But you die at 27.
I'm in.
I'm
Let's do
clicking
it.
the right button, baby.
I'm 26, dude. I got
Because
time's running
guess-
out.
And then guess
Damn,
what?
man.
When you die when you're 27, you're a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised when we watched that
yeah.
Motley Crue
He's
Yeah.
into it.
thing.
Well, I think
like,
that's
he
what
was just like,
well,
oh my
right.
God.
Well, that's what
like these
Tickles my
guys were living.
peach, dude. It tickles my peach.
Yeah. Well, I
And
think
that's
that-
what
yeah.
he was saying. He
My peach got
connected
tickled.
too because that was his dream. that
Grab-
was his dream
grab a
back
li-
then.
more than just my peach was tickled on that time of my
Grab a
life.
little Indian feather, you know what I'm
I don't mean that. I mean
saying? Grab a little Indian feather off the little chief thing.
no, I think you do buy into that stuff. But anyways, that I will say it was. I'm glad that I'm not that guy anymore, or haven't been for a long time because
was fun,
I
though.
didn't like that guy. Like looking back, I wasn't I wasn't the person I wanted to be.
Oh, nobody ever is at that age, but
Yeah.
it's
You wouldn't be
fun.
here.
No.
Yeah.
Jade wouldn't be here.
I would be.
if he stayed that
I would
guy.
be here. I would just be something
wouldn't be
else.
you.
I'll be a fucking
But I will
eagle.
say that those days made me, in all honesty, it
eagle.
made me, I think, everything makes you who you are,
100%.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I didn't have those days, I wouldn't be who I am today,
I agree.
So.
Everything's important.
Yep.
Eric says, just bought Don Soderbergh's
yeah.
Corn Snake book. I have
Don's,
books
yeah.
from many others in the reptile industry. What reptile subject would Brian write a book on?
I first off, I've known Don forever, and it's a good book. I don't think I would ever write a reptile book, to be totally honest with you. I don't think that it's not something that I'm interested in doing. I would like to write a book, and that book could be on a whole multitude of things, but it would never be on a reptile.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's great books out there. I'll let someone else do that.
Solus Honky, just for being awesome. Keep it up.
Thank you again,
Thanks,
Solus.
Thank you.
And then Tanya through 10. Is that euros? I don't know exactly.
Yes, euros.
Euros. I have feeding pump and food for 5 days. So can you have the food for those days? And I'm so confused. Sorry.
It's the way they type it.
And take the stuff from the ICU for WC.
Wild caught.
Okay. I have bed rest now, so I can see how you can do that for 3 days. I'm very confused.
Oh, maybe this has to do with something to do with. I have a feeding pump for food.
Feeding pump.
She's talking about the whole meditation, going time without food and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there you go.
You figured it out, dude.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
Yeah, I
So
got
a
you.
feeding pump.
So my way wasn't right.
Yeah, but wait, did she say? Wait a second. Did she say something about the waist?
But yeah, let's go back.
Is there
Waste control from the
Let's
ICU
see,
for waste control, right? Is
Yeah,
WC?
so waste control instead of wild caught.
Take
Yeah,
the
so
stuff
so
from
so
the
ICU for waste.
What is
So it takes
that?
some stuff from ICU for waste
What's
control.
ICU?
because you have to.
intensive care unit.
Yeah, intensive
You have
care
to be
unit.
straight.
I don't know. That's interesting.
Maybe it's like a back brace, like
It's
Brett
an interesting
Favre in
thing,
the
though.
ads.
No, I'm talking
Brett
about what
Favre,
collects the weight.
like the copper weight, the copper.
Maybe
Copperware.
yeah, copperware.
It's like
yeah.
the back
Yeah,
brace.
you just wear
Yeah.
the copper shit and you're
You
fine.
don't have to worry about it.
Right, and
Okay.
You don't poop.
Boy, it's taking
I feel
forever. to
like
get
I'm
through.
20
We're
again.
taking a while to get through these super
It's because
chats.
each one's another story. So
I
we're just
know.
trying. We're trying. But that's what it's about. That's what it's all about.
All right, yeah.
I think it's Miguel or
No, it's Meagle, dude.
Meagle. It's Meagle. I've never seen that word before.
Migs.
It says,
My name is Migs.
Hey guys. Oh, there you go. My name is Migs.
Be careful, bro. Be careful. With that.
Yeah, be careful with that one.
Ooh.
Send in love from Long Island. I do have a question though. What happened to Kelsey? She was one of my faves.
Kelsey's great. I mean, we haven't talked to her in a bit. She just
Yeah,
moved on.
She just moved on to the
and-
next life.
Yeah, we
She's
stayed
perished.
in touch. No. Well, she didn't text me back, so I'm assuming she must be
I
dead.
haven't seen her on Twitter in months, so she's gone.
She hasn't shown up to work. She's probably just dead.
She
No,
wanted
no,
to do
no.
other things.
Yeah,
with
she wanted to
her
do other
life.
things, and she's
Yeah.
great. We, like I said, we have great relationship with vast majority of people that leave, and Kelsey was great. We enjoyed her, and she does occasionally pop in and stuff like that. So if she pops in, we'll show her in the vlog.
Cool. Paul says hi from Paul in Liverpool, England. Love your channels. Keep up the great work, guys.
Thank
I've
you,
always
Paul.
wanted to go to Liverpool.
Let's go.
That's just I don't know.
Let's
the
go.
Beatles, I
on
mean,
the
it's just
list.
like I love their
We'll take
they
a
have
picture.
a very interesting accent in
Yeah,
Liverpool,
yeah.
and I like it.
I like
Liverpool.
They,
yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
As a family, there's 4 of us in the family. Michael, sorry, you can stay home, buddy. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm not.
He pretty much
He can take the picture. He can take the
Oh
picture.
yeah, he can take
So you can come, but you can just gotta take the picture. You know, the Beatles when they're walking,
Yeah.
in the famous little picture. right
Abbey
there?
Road, yeah.
Yeah, we'll take a picture like that as a Barcheck family.
Oh, that'd be adorable.
That
Yeah.
would be.
That'd be cool.
Christmas
like it.
card. All
I
right.
like it.
Thank you, Michael.
This is actually a really cool one. So I think Kaden says, really like your conversation on astral travel. If you guys could create a family crest, what would it look like?
Ooh.
I like that. That's interesting.
I don't know.
It's gotta have a snake,
I don't.
right?
I'll be honest with you.
No.
I don't know.
What's
I
the
don't,
Greek vine? You know, like the Greek vine where the god has like the
Oh
head
yeah,
down?
yeah. Little.
I'd have the Greek vine in the
I
background.
feel like this would take a lot of contemplation.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm telling you
vine.
mine right here. I have the vision right
Nobody
here.
gives a shit.
Okay, go for it.
Grapevine, the
together.
vine with the shield in the background,
Yeah.
and then there's some lightning bolts.
Oh, shit. It's like the Greek
and,
gods.
And then there's a
It's like Zeus.
a bull head, and it's got the nose ring too.
Does
Holy
it have
shit.
Michael
And this is- and
Jordan's
it's-
number on it?
And it's all maybe there's a little 23 at the no. And it's all layer masked perfectly
Yeah,
together.
yeah. So I like
Make
it.
it happen.
I don't know enough about. Someone out there make that one happen. I don't know enough about like what if there's like thought behind a crest.
like maybe the family's
of course
profession.
There is. There's a lot of thought.
Yeah, I
behind
just thought about
crest.
it.
Yeah. I don't
Your
know
family,
enough about
what they are, what they do.
So I'd have
Snakes.
to get back to you about that one. I'd have
Do
to
you
research
get,
crests a little bit more.
Do you get it branded in you?
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
I
get
don't
some
think anyone-
freaking
yeah.
branded
down.
family crest
Or
right
you
on my
could
thigh.
just get a tattoo.
Yeah.
No, I want the brand. I want to hear that
let's
sizzle,
do it.
baby.
Do
I
it.
don't.
Okay.
What's the next one?
Amanda says, pies
Oh,
are my
hey.
absolute favorite. I love the white, gray, black of the lightning axanthic. But if I didn't
agree.
eventually find one, I'll find different pies for sure.
Yeah, well,
Awesome.
definitely.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you ever need
They're
anything,
cool.
let us know. I mean,
What was
we
that
appreciate
one,
you so
Brian?
much.
Well, we went to.
She actually did another one too.
Oh, okay. It says, did you just say that you're going to have pies? Do you have a waiting
Yes.
list, or is it just
We have a
first come, first
few
serve?
on the site now.
We have a few now, yeah,
And we will have
we'll have
more.
a ton. We'll have a lot
we
this
pretty
year.
much always have them.
Yeah, we always
so.
have. We always have a couple hundred pies for available throughout the year.
Tanya says, where do you guys want to travel next? I think we've talked about this before, but is there anything that's changed? Anything new come up?
Well, we were supposed to be going
Yes.
to
Italy,
Italy
yeah.
in October.
October.
It's yet to be determined whether we'll be able to do
Yeah,
that
we might still
trip.
be able to go.
Yep.
Bali.
Bali would be great. Yeah, we talked about that.
That's
Bali,
mine.
yeah, Bali's a really good place.
I was
it's a lot
told
of
about
fun.
this.
Greece.
And that
Greece is
sounds fun.
the
Greece
next
is
high
up,
one on
yeah.
mine.
But I hope so. As
I
a
was
matter of
just
fact,
sharing a new one because we've talked about Greece and Italy and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was just sharing something new.
Yeah, well,
Bali would
you
be
know what
good.
I like
You'd
to
like
talk
Bali.
about? I like to talk about the ones I want to do first.
Yeah.
So they happen.
See, I'm surprised you don't want to do Bali because Bali is known for its beaches.
Exactly. Like that's like what people talk about.
I
it
know
for.
there's a beach there, but I'm not
No,
drawn
it's not.
there.
It's not a beach.
A beach. It's not a beach. It's also known. They
It's an
say.
island, right?
Can I tell a quick Bali story?
Of course you
No.
can.
Let me just really
Of
quick
course
Bali
you can.
story. So they're known for. I know. I'm sorry. She has to endure another fucking story.
Sip
I'm
up.
sorry. So they're known for supposedly having the best sunsets in the world. They
Really?
say like Bali's supposed to have
Mm.
Bali.
We have.
Suns.
There's no better sunset than the picture I took
Now-
in
now
Washington
he's so
D.C.
confused.
Oh yeah. It's a good one.
It
yeah.
was. It was that. What was the
Yeah, it's purple.
yogurt? The yogurt that we're talking about. The
Yoplait. Oh,
Twix
Twix.
yogurt.
Twix yogurt.
Twix
yeah,
yogurt color.
Yeah.
With the
sky.
beautiful purple and the pink
Yeah.
like swirled together. That's what the sky was.
Beautiful Twix yogurt.
So we were.
purple
So we were in.
thing.
So I was in Bali.
Black
and-
out the haters. She's hating.
So I was in Bali, and the
skating.
whole thing we wanted to do that day was see a sunset on the beach because it was supposed to be so amazing. We were only going to be there for the one more night, and we wanted to see the sunset.
Is
that
this
was like,
you and Forrest love affair?
yeah, it was me and Forrest's
Okay.
love affair.
Beautiful.
And so we were out, and Keo was like, all right, well, it's going to take us like 40 minutes to get to the beach. The sun's supposed to set at 6 o'clock or whatever the case is, so let's get on the way. And so one thing led to another. We got postponed. Then we got in a cab. The cab was in traffic. We got there right after the sunset.
The sunset didn't even happen. There wasn't even a
There was no-
sunset that
I'm
night.
convinced
Why
there
didn't
was
you
no
look out the
sunset.
window?
Well, because we were. Trust me, we
Really?
were.
It's
But there
probably
was
beautiful.
trees and
Oh,
all
yeah.
kinds of other stuff. We
Yeah.
couldn't see anything.
know, I'm just
We could see
messing
as
with
the sun was setting. We're like, ah, we couldn't see
Oh,
it.
no.
And we literally pulled up to the beach as you could just see the glow of the bottom of the sun. So yeah.
So
it's
why
my
would
That's
I wanna go
life
for
for
that?
you. Yeah, that sounds great.
That being said, let me tell
Molly.
you. No. That being said, that being said, amazing crab leg, fish, shrimp dinner on the beach.
Ooh.
It was
Oh, wait.
amazing.
Can I just throw it out there?
Yeah.
Let's
I
hear
got
it.
an email saying Caraba's got lobster ravioli back on the menu.
Ooh, let's go tonight.
Let's get some.
Let's
That
get some
just popped
tonight.
in
Let's
my
get
head.
some
Let's get some
tonight.
But it
tonight.
doesn't apply.
Okay, so
but it
anyways,
does.
let's move on.
And Amanda
Amanda
again.
with another 15 says,
you so
I have a
much.
golden retriever. She's the best. All she wants to do is love and please. Super smart.
I heard they're really good.
Sheds
Sheds
beach.
like a beast. Okay, let me tell you
yeah.
a really quick story.
Oh, God.
Because
Husky.
we had Artemis, our husky, and then we got
Oh,
Zeus,
they're
our
the
German
worst.
Shepherd, and then my stepbrother was a rescuer, and he was like, "Oh my God, Laura, you literally have the top 2 shedding dogs."
Oh,
and I'm like,
yeah.
"Tell me something I don't know." With the
Yeah,
tumbleweeds,
tumbleweeds.
on my
My
house
carpet all the
constantly.
time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Germans are
Mike.
jerks.
Germans are jerks. Brian 2020.
Pretty much.
Called you out. There you
Oh,
go.
shit. Love that.
Mike is like, oh shit, here goes Mike.
Oh, and he goes, oh, also my zebra knee tarantula molted with me for the first time last
Oh, that's
night.
sweet,
Found
dude.
out Both her and my red knees are female. Super
Okay.
excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's good because
for
you get
you.
to have them longer.
And he said
right?
at the end,
Yeah.
he also said, "Fuck Spotify."
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed that. I read it. I
He
read
said
over
that a
it.
few times.
Yeah, I read over it. My bad. Heavenly
Our knees is in the
Heavenly.
house.
Thank you, Heavenly Knees.
says
Welcome
much
back.
love, you guys. Can't stay to watch, but I'll catch up later.
All
Good
right,
night.
we'll see you. We'll see you
Sleep tight.
Friday. We'll see you Friday too, right?
Yeah.
On the pod. Oh, speaking of Friday, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
So we got the Bigfoot vlog,
Bigfoot.
Yeti,
Podcast.
Bigfoot,
Yeti.
Yeah.
podcast. So we're gonna have Bruce, Eric, you, me, all telling stories about Yetis and
Swamp monsters.
skunk
Our
ape.
experiences with the swamp monster.
Yeah, so definitely tune in 5
Wow,
o'clock
that's
on
wasn't
Friday.
in the forest though.
Lori looks thrilled.
It was in a porta potty.
I'll
In
be
it,
tuning in.
Can't miss that. No, it'll be great,
You're in
man.
the house, man.
It's gonna be great.
All right,
We're
go
gonna
ahead.
have real
All right.
footage.
Yep.
We're
Awesome.
interviewing a fucking
Bigfoot.
Yeti.
That's me, dude.
Guys,
Awesome.
make the
very
title.
first-
Make the title interviewing Yeti.
Yeah.
Choices.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
funny.
Ariel says, just showing some love. Thank you.
Thank
Oh
you.
my
Ariel.
goodness, Ariel, you're too kind.
You are.
Rudy
Thank
says, I
you.
love you guys so much. Stay safe. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Rudy.
That's
Did
so
you have a
nice.
movie
Rudy.
once?
Yeah.
I know he probably heard that every time.
I
Yeah,
named
know.
it.
You know
Oh,
it. Poor
check this
guy.
Sorry,
out.
dude. I am so sorry.
Why would you do that
Rudy.
to that guy, bro?
Wait,
Rudy,
dude,
I'm sorry,
Let
brother.
me tell a story about Rudy real quick.
Oh,
Okay.
what was it?
So I named I adopted a dog in California with some friends I just met.
Oh, yeah,
right.
Loie, yeah.
I just met Loie and then her friend, and then I joined them.
Yes,
I never
I
met them
remember that.
before,
I
and
remember
I
this.
spent like a whole week with them, and we adopted 2 dogs, and I named one of them. Well, we named him one of them Rudy.
I know. This was we went out there for
Marvel.
we went out there for
I left you.
Yeah, we went out there for what's the YouTube
It was
Playlist?
I was-
not
Play-
playlist.
not playlist
It was
VidCon.
VidCon.
So we go out there to VidCon.
so mad.
Yeah, we went out
I
to
was so mad
VidCon.
at you.
We
You don't
we
even
linked up
know.
with a couple YouTubers to just hang out. Noah disappeared for a week.
Well, the thing is that they invited me. They said they were talking about adopting dogs because we were making this little video together. And they were talking about adopting dogs, and I was just like, I love
in.
dogs.
Yeah.
And they said, do you want to come? And I was like, yes, let's go.
And 7 days later, I saw him
Yeah.
to go back home.
And then, no,
No, I
was
didn't
it
even
the
go
same
back home.
trip that
Oh,
I
that-
was? Yeah, it was the same trip. I had the horrible stomach issue,
Yeah.
and you left me in
he left
California
you
by
where-
myself.
Well, that's because we had 2 different flights.
Yeah.
I mean, what was I going to do? Cancel my flight?
Well, he already
Yeah.
didn't care enough that he just let you
thought
go
I had-
with
I
wasn't- I
strangers
I
wasn't
thought I
for a
had
fun.
week.
stomach
And
cancer.
then he just left you at the fucking airport because he didn't care.
No, I didn't
there
leave him at the
either.
airport. I
Dude, I
didn't
was-
leave him at the airport. It was at the hotel.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you didn't even take him to the
No,
airport?
he didn't.
No,
I had to
Andy
get a
was
separate
Andy.
ride.
Andy was with them.
I had to get a separate ride, and I was late.
Andy was with them.
But
And I didn't know how bad his stomach was because I hadn't seen him for 7
I
days.
was I was in such bad pain. I was crying in the
We need-
airport.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
But I had my hood on and tied up, and I tried to cover my eyes, but they, because it was embarrassing.
because
you
you
know?
were crying.
I was crying, but that's how much
Because you were
pain I
calling
was in.
me. You
I
were
was like-
calling me.
I was like,
stuck in
Mom.
the airport,
I was like-
crying.
Well,
and I'm like,
I haven't-
where
I
the
didn't-
fuck is
I was-
your dad?
Oh my god, I don't even know.
I was so mad.
I was
at
on a
you.
plane
I
to
was-
Texas.
Yeah,
I was on
I
a plane to
know
Texas.
you were.
I think I had gonorrhea or something.
That's
Oh.
it. Yep.
That's because you were
Did you get it
hanging
from
out.
Rudy?
No,
Hanging out
You
without
got
me
it
for
from
7 days.
fucking
Dogs.
that
Strangers.
abandoned dog. It gave me gonorrhea.
that damn dog.
Can I tell a quick story about that
Of
night?
course
though?
you can.
All right, so that night was you were first off, you were supposed to be back that night.
Yeah, I know.
And it was the last night in the hotel. We were staying right by LAX, just janky freaking hotel. And
Super.
And so I call you up. You were hanging out with
Oh.
Andy. You were hanging out with Andy, and you said, "Well, I will be there. We'll be there,
Yeah.
whatever." And I go, "All right." So I'm like, I got to be at the airport at 5 a.m. So I'm going to bed. So I go to bed, and I wake up, and there's a phone ringing,
Phone ring.
and so the phone is
yeah.
ringing,
I
and
remember
all of a
this
sudden I
story.
wake up, and no lights on,
No lights.
nothing. It's like the electricity is cut.
Yeah.
I answer the phone, and it's some foreign guy going, "Hello, hello, what are you doing?" And it was like like out of a fucking movie. And so I was like, "What the?" And I'm trying to turn lights on. I'm like freaking out. And so I hang the phone up, and a second later, the phone rings again, and it's the same foreign guy, like calling.
Now, anybody who's watched a bad, scary movie, right, knows this scenario.
Yeah. So I literally, we're on the 3rd floor. I walk out in the hallway's dark, pitch dark.
and there was a siren.
Yeah, the siren's going like whoop, 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 whoop. And I go to the elevator. The elevator's not working. I'm like, I can't find. I'm like, what the hell's going on? No one's around. I'm like, I go back into my hotel room, pitch black. The phone rings again. Yeah. I pick it up. Hello, I'm trying to reach you and I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm freaking out. So finally, I'm like, I've got to get out of here. I'm literally like thinking I'm in hell. I'm thinking like this can't.
Because you are.
I'm like, this can't be happening.
Yeah.
And so I finally get to the stairwell. I get to the stairwell. I start walking down the stairwell, and someone's walking up. Now I think I'm going to get me murdered.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
I finally get down to the thing. I get to the hotel, the front thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, there's the power's out. They're doing some construction outside." And I go, "Someone keeps calling my room," and they go, "Oh. I think we have all the calls routed to your room." So from the desk, they were all routed to my room. And so I get back. So I finally get back to my room. He gives me a flashlight.
How does that even happen?
I don't know. So I get back to my room and the phone's ringing and ringing. So I finally just take the phone off the hook, and I call you.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, I'll be there soon."
Yeah. And so you go back to bed.
Yeah, I go back
at least
to bed.
try to in this creepy, blacked out hotel.
It was so wild.
And it was like 3 a.m. We were filming like this scary story thing, and so I got back. It was around 3 a.m. And we pull in, and it is pitch black.
Yeah, in the parking lot, right?
In the parking lot,
the parking
everything.
garage. The garage.
The garage. And so we're walking, and there's nothing, but we just hear this creepy siren.
Oh my
and
gosh,
we just were telling ghost stories and stuff. So we're like, we're about to die too. So we're crawling up, and then we hear some like scream or whatever. We're like, Jesus Christ! And we're like,
Dad.
What is this? And it was Dad. Scared. No, but it was just like super eerie. There's a waterfall going on in the lobby, and we're just like, oh my God.
So that was working. The lights weren't working, but the waterfall was working.
Priorities.
It was natural.
Yeah. It was. I would say literally in my life, it was the top 3 scariest moments of my life.
It literally sounds like every scary movie
It was
I've watched.
it was just like a scary movie in real life, and I kept thinking I have to be dreaming.
Also,
there's no way that I could be awake and this is
real life.
happening.
Can I also add something? There's that hotel. Again, I don't know what the fuck. That hotel felt haunted when there was electricity.
Yeah, I agree
like
with
it
that.
felt it like.
Was it like the cheapest one you could find?
It was just by the airport.
Right.
It was right by the
Usually
airport.
the ones by the airport are pretty scary.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was
a lot of
sketch.
people
It was
died in
It was
there.
sketch. Yeah, I'm sure someone died in my room.
Yeah, for sure.
It was probably that
So that was
person that
you
didn't text.
almost
It was
did.
probably
That
Matt
person
Staggs.
calling.
It's probably Matt Staggs,
It was a great
guy that
trip.
didn't text me back.
Yeah.
He's probably
was
in that
haunting.
room. Okay.
All right.
All right.
So I'm going to do these in the opposite. So it says, played music for years, much healthier now. LOL. That's from Solus.
Yeah,
Hockey.
that's
It's
true
a good
for
one.
that.
And
That's a
then
good
William wants to know, love to hear the story on how you met Carrie King.
So he's a reptile guy.
Yeah.
So he's a snake guy. So I just met him at a snake show.
Yep.
And ironically enough, I went up to him and he said he watched snake bites.
Oh, that's so funny.
So yeah, he's like, "Hey, Brian." He goes, "Yeah, I watch snake bites all the time."
And you're like, oh my God!
It's Carrie
I'm like,
Frank!
Carrie-
I've been following you since I was 12.
Yeah,
Yeah,
literally.
seriously. When I was 13 years old, I bought a front row seats at the Masonic
Temple.
You and
Theater.
Dwayne probably.
Yeah, me and Dwayne, Royal Oak
course.
Masonic Theater, and we first row. So it was crazy. Now that I was 13, I buy tickets to Slayer. They were not that big at the time, but they were still touring the world and stuff like that. And now all these years later, like we're friends and
That's so
we
cool.
hang out, and
Awesome.
so yeah, so that's how I met Carrie.
Cool. Solus Honky again says, playing my new guitar while watching.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
that-
What kind of guitar? You don't have to super chat. Just tell us in the chat.
Yeah, just tell us in the chat. Anna Carver says, love y'all. Been looking forward to this since Friday.
Ah, thank you, Anna. Thank you.
Yeah, we
Remember this
appreciate
Friday, Bigfoot.
And
Bigfoot.
remember to watch on Friday and next Wednesday and next Friday and,
And
then
next Wednesday.
Yeah,
Wednesday
and subscribe to the
Friday.
clip and subscribe to the clip channel.
Subscribe to the Chibs.
Yeah, the chips.
Subscribe to those Chibbies.
Road Life
Road
says,
Life,
if you
yeah.
could choose to go on vacation somewhere for a whole month, where would it be?
Well, a month is a long
bad.
time.
Yeah, we
man.
were just
a
on
month
vacation.
is a long time. Yeah, a month is a long time anywhere. I don't know that
Ooh.
I could take a month. Well, I was in Australia for a month. I was in Africa for a month.
Yeah, so you could take a month.
Where
so
does
shut the hell
Sadhguru?
up.
Where does Sadhguru live? at?
India.
And
India.
Oh, that would
he
be
just-
cool.
He
I'm
lives
moving
in his
there
living room
for a
because he
month.
just meditates.
And we're just gonna
I would love to go to India.
link
I would love to
arms.
go to India. It's one of my
Just
high
meditate.
places, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me
I could
too.
spend a month in Italy.
Yeah, we could spend a month I could spend a month in
I
Italy.
could.
I agree. I could do
could.
that.
I could spend a month in London just drinking,
I don't think I've ever spent more than a day in
I
London.
agree.
smoking cigarettes.
I think I've.
Smoking
I don't
weed,
think
Amsterdam.
No,
It's been a month in
not weed,
Amsterdam.
just beer and
stoned out of your
cigarettes.
mind.
I don't
Beer
think
and
that.
stogies.
That's it.
I don't think
Simple man.
I think I've been in London maybe 4 or 5 times, and I've never been there more than a day.
Interesting.
Listen out.
So yeah, I've been there like one day, and that's it. And I'm
Maybe
out.
It's
some
your
JMO.
stopover place.
I actually had a tour, virtual tour today, or was it yesterday?
Maybe
Yeah, it was
yesterday.
yesterday, and they were from Manchester.
Yeah.
So by Blackpool, ironically enough, where I was,
That's cool.
and so that's it.
Awesome. Katie says, "Hello, my people." Some double
Katie,
hearts.
what's up? What's
up,
up, Katie?
Katie?
What's up, girl?
All right, we got that jeweler guy. I think his name's
my
Mike,
God,
right?
Mike, what's up?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bring some acid next time we come up, and we hit some cemeteries.
Oh man,
LOL.
dude.
And Spotify has wait, and Spotify has the loudest ads ever made.
Mike.
Fuck Spotify.
That's got to be his hashtag, man.
Yeah,
That's gotta be
hashtag
his,
fuck Spotify.
Yeah, can we get that going? Can we get that trending?
Well, there goes our brand deal.
Yeah, there goes our 100 million.
Oh shit.
We're not even going to be allowed on Spotify. They're going to
Thanks,
kick
Mike.
us out. Thanks, Mike, for kicking us.
Thanks, Mike.
But I'm all about the cemetery thing. I'm down.
And the acid.
He said he's all
not
about.
the acid.
He's
not
all
the
down
acid.
for the acid.
down for the-
No, you got to do the acid.
You got to
first.
do the
my
acid to
God.
go to the cemetery.
Could you,
A little bit of the
seriously,
acid
Could you
would be
imagine
fine.
me on acid?
I mean-
I would
Oh
go
my
to the
God.
hospital.
I couldn't imagine
I
you
don't
on
know.
aspirin,
It could-
dude.
It could just redo you, and maybe
Yeah.
It's actually
Wow.
true.
Well, it's interesting. They talked about
lot of science on that.
Yeah, they did talk about hallucinogens
Yes, they did.
with anxiety.
Psilocybin specifically, like from mushrooms, is really
No,
a
but
big
I'm not
thing.
gonna
now.
do that.
not going to rule it out.
Yeah, you
I'm
will.
not doing
Not
it.
ruling it
Yeah,
out.
you will.
No, I won't.
Yeah, we'll
Go
do
ahead.
it as a family.
Yeah,
We'll
do
do
it
it
as a family.
together.
Do it on the fucking podcast.
Do it on the podcast.
This is a safe space. It's a safe space, baby.
Yeah,
Can
baby.
you imagine? All right, let me know in the comments if you guys want us to do an acid
Shrooms.
run here.
Yes, yeah. Let us know. Hashtag
Sure, let us know.
AcidCast.
Let's get like
this is-
7,000 likes.
Yeah,
And we'll do an acid
speaking of
cast.
likes, do we have some like? Oh, this thing
It's-
isn't working.
Oh yeah,
we
this thing
can't
isn't
see real
working.
time.
We can't see
You can't
real
see
time.
real
It's all
time,
good.
dude.
All we know is the real time.
Well,
Will's
Will.
putting the fifth.
Yeah, put in his mo-
$5.
Yeah, for
Thank
for
you
the
so much,
entertainment.
Will.
Oh, thank you, man.
Sweetheart.
Appreciate
You're
you.
a
See,
kind fellow.
you're a good.
You're gonna
person.
get rewarded in heaven for that. I'll put in a good word with the
It is true.
With the-
big
with my
man
man,
upstairs, with
with
the
my
big
man.
man G.
All right, faithful Caden says, if Lori could have her own channel, what would it consist of besides wine tasting?
Not sure yet. That's why I haven't started
Charcuterie.
it. I'm
No,
working
even
on
if
it.
you had like a regular YouTube channel, like maybe you put out like weekly videos. Or
I think
something.
charcuterie
I
would
really
be
don't
part of
know.
it.
Some lawn, some doing
Because,
some of the
you
lawn.
know,
You know,
I just
Taking
I
care of
just
the
really
doggies?
Don't know. I like stuff I like, but I just don't know that I want to share it all. I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't figured that out yet.
Sure.
All right,
Interesting.
caustic vapor.
Yeah, he
Ooh, that's
says.
interesting.
He
That's
says, "Hey
interesting.
BHB fam squad, I messaged Brian on Instagram after meeting Jeffrey the Hypogranite Berm because I fell in love with him. Hashtag Zoo Dream in the making.
Awesome, man. That's fantastic. And I'm
awesome.
sorry if I didn't get back to you on Insta. I really hardly ever see DMs on Insta.
Aurora says
But
shrooms
thank
are
you
good.
so much. Shrooms are good.
Aurora Exotics, you think?
He's just like, yeah, that's good for you, Aurora. So, yeah, that's great.
Oh
So
my
speaking of-
goodness.
My mom.
Jay's mom just said microdots are great. All you do is smile. Well,
That's my
just the
mommy.
beginning.
Is that mescaline or is that?
It's mescaline, yeah.
Yeah,
but
mescaline,
it's like
yeah.
it was like back in the day. Instead of
Yeah.
acid, a lot of people did the microdose.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's
I've
what I
been
did
there.
That's
too.
what I
Done
did.
that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
just did real shit.
No, it's the real shit.
Send me straight
It's the
to the
realest
moon.
shit. I
Fucked
promise
up.
you.
Speaking of cemeteries,
Fucking
the other day your mom and I
straight to the moon.
did a nice walk, and we walked to the cemetery. We didn't go in the cemetery, but it was nice.
I like
There's
it.
something peaceful about a cemetery.
Yeah,
There
it's
is. No
death.
one's making any yappy noise.
No one's
around.
talking.
Well, you know what? Okay. So I had a thing that I wanted
Everyone's
to say.
sleeping.
So speaking of feelings and this and that, what is it? So over, what was it? Sunday. So I was very sad because every year we have a flower day.
Flower day.
I love working in the yard. I love flowers. Just, certain things make you feel good and give you really good feelings.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Mushrooms, apparently.
Well, sometimes. I don't know. I haven't tried those. But
We can arrange
it's
something.
just, it's weird how certain things do that.
Yeah.
So I was really bummed because I always enjoy that day. It's so fun to be around all the stuff and
Yeah.
then buy a bunch of shit and put it in the yard. And I sit in the yard and I enjoy it and it makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday after work, I stopped by a nursery. I went looking around and I bought a bunch of stuff because I wasn't able to
Right.
go to Eastern Market. And I had to keep it in my car for a few days because we had all these storms coming through and I didn't want it to get whatever. So this morning before I was coming in, I'm like, all right, let me get this stuff out. Yeah. So I'm bringing it into the backyard. And as I'm carrying it, I'm looking at the stuff. And honestly, it's funny because the same thing, like as I'm looking at these flowers and stuff, I just feel happy. Like I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is so cool. Like, oh, I can't wait to plant this. And I just got this feeling rising up of happiness. Yeah. So obviously flowers, and that gives me that. So I'm just curious, like,
so mushrooms will too.
Yeah,
what,
for sure.
Is there something like that with you guys that like when you do or see or just have that kind of bring that up in you? Like,
oh yeah.
What is it?
Just a lot of things.
Really?
Drugs?
But he said he said birds like the other day. Remember, he's like, look at that bird.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Like I said, because when I was doing that, I felt that, and I realized, like I realized what I was feeling. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just so happy. Like this, brings out these feelings.
Sometimes cinnamon toast crunch makes me feel
I was about to say
cinnamon toast crunch. Sometimes that makes me really happy too.
I was about to say food. I was about to say food makes me real happy. Maybe devil lettuce cigarette every once in a while.
What is that?
It's a joint of marijuana. Allegedly.
I don't know. Heard it referred to
I don't know. Maybe make you feel a little happy. I don't know. Allegedly. Basketball, sports, watching a great movie. I'm talking like Tarantino style movie where you're not thinking during the movie. The movie's so good that it's doing the thinking for you.
Well, you know what?
We should watch it.
Because you know what? Same thing. So I like more comedies, and like I think what was it? It was somewhere around Easter. I was up by myself and I threw on Hitch while I was doing
Hitch is
something.
A great movie.
And I'm watching that
movie.
and it was the same thing. Like I'm going through, I know this movie, like I can quote most of it and I'm singing and I'm dancing. I got the same feeling. That's what I was thinking. It's like, I love this.
No, you're right. I mean, you guys know that I love movies, number one, but I think I love, and it's something I miss really a lot. And I will be one of the first people to go back. The movie the theater,
being at the theater
experience gives me that. Like the smell of the burnt popcorn at
MJR.
Yeah, it's always burnt, but it's good. I just love the smell. There's just something about it, man. Just the feeling. It's just like I feel so happy when I'm sitting there knowing I'm going to be entertained. Whether it's a good and you guys know, have I ever went to a movie and thought it was terrible?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know. We've seen a lot of bands.
But I always like them. I think there was one movie.
You'll still be happy because you're in your happy place, even if it's a bad movie.
I think there was. I can't remember what the movie was, but there was. I can only think of one movie, and it was recently that happened.
Because being at a theater is like your happy place. That's probably like from when you were a kid. Yeah. Like one of your really happy memories is going to
Amityville Horror.
Yeah, because when I was 8. To those
when I was 8.
Movies.
I was 8, and she took me to the. As a matter of fact, you know what I saw? I almost watched it, but I didn't even know. I wondered if it was just a weird memory. It was called Happy Birthday to Me. It was called Happy Birthday to Me.
Yeah.
And I thought it was actually.
That's a movie.
Yeah, it was like a 1980 movie or something like that, or maybe even earlier. I saw that as a recommended last night when I was looking through my Xfinity.
I think okay. I seen something similar to that, similar title, but
or maybe it isn't Happy Birthday. It's like, anyways, it was about like. I don't know. It was just happy. As a matter of fact, I think my fear of bridges came from that movie.
No way.
Because in that movie, there was a drawbridge scene where a car got stuck on the top as it was opening. Oh, shit. And then the car fell into the river.
Well, it was probably that and your brother.
Yeah, I think your brother.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
What did he do?
He used to just always say, because there was... Can you punch this up for me? Mackinac Bridge. Hang on one second. Hang on. Punch up Mackinac Bridge. No, not truck.
Okay,
it's a Yugo.
Okay.
Yugo.
Is it YUGO or?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yugo off
He's too young
Mackinac
to know what a
Bridge.
Yugo is, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't speak hieroglyphics.
So high wind spurs memory of Mackinac Bridge death, and this car plunged off the bridge.
Is this the actual photo? Oh, this is them taking out.
That's the actual photo of the car that blew off a bridge.
And remains of Leslie Ann Pleuer or something, which plunged off the Mackinac Bridge on September 22nd, 1989.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
And it was a Mango Yugo.
And listen, I'm not afraid of bridges, and that bridge is friggin' crazy, man.
That's a scary bridge, man. And
don't stop.
Yeah.
It's a cool bridge.
It's cool, but it's definitely like, you could see why if you were afraid of bridges, you wouldn't like that bridge at all.
It's very ominous.
Yeah.
It's a very, because like from 5 miles away you
could see it. It's like almost like a skyscraper in New York. You
yeah,
see
just
the Empire
like 5
State.
miles away you see it, and you're like, oh my god,
No.
Freak out
what
about
the
it.
hell, man?
Mom. Jake, can you turn my headphones down a little bit, please?
I don't know which one it is right now.
This
It'd be
So we were in San Francisco. Okay.
Oh
We were in
shit.
San Francisco.
Shit, yeah.
It's the Golden Gate Bridge, baby.
Yeah, oof.
And we had to cross it. We had to cross it.
We did.
And my dad is so deathly afraid of bridges. He had to pull the fucking car out,
Yeah.
get out, and he was like looking at it. And he was just like, he's like, I don't know. And mom had to get out and go
drive. Yeah, she had to drive across it.
You
Yeah.
couldn't drive across the
drive
bridge.
across that
and I remember
damn
you
thing, man.
got out and you were looking at the bridge and you were just like, oh my god, I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's true. It's a true story.
But
yeah.
wait, didn't we go from there to driving up those
Straight
mountains?
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
It was
I
like
was
straight
having
up.
a heart attack.
You're like, oh my god,
my
because
nightmare.
that's your
Because
nightmare.
That's my nightmare.
Yeah, we went
I
from
have a
my nightmare to your
yes,
nightmare.
Oh,
I
that's
have a
romantic.
recurring nightmare
Yeah.
from when I was a child of driving up a freeway that went straight up, and then we just fell backwards.
Oh, no.
And then I always woke up falling backwards. And so I'm driving because he's terrified. We start weaving up these
Oh my God.
these
That
whatever.
might've been
We
scary.
can't turn back,
No.
and they keep getting steeper and steeper.
You were
and
screaming.
I'm freaking out, and they're in the
Screaming.
background crying, laughing. You and Jane,
Screaming.
like, and I'm just like, oh my god, it keeps getting.
But dude, it was pretty fucked up because it was to the point where you couldn't see the road. It was
You couldn't
just
see
the
the road.
sky.
Yeah, you
It
couldn't
was
see the
just
road.
the sky.
It was literally
You were
my
like,
nightmare.
No, that is true.
I literally felt like we were gonna go backwards at
I
any
know,
minute.
that's
and I'm like,
fucked
who
up,
the
man.
fuck lives here? There was houses.
I know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, there were literally houses
that
right on the
lived
side
on
of the road.
that
Yeah.
shit. Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Those
And it was
people are
interesting
weird.
because the houses to the right, literally at the edge of their house, remember there was like
Was
2,000
nothing.
feet drop.
Nothing.
Yeah, like a 2,000-foot drop at the edge of their house into
What
the.
kind of crazy psychopath lives there?
It'd be me. I'd be
Yeah.
living there. Stat.
weird-
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
But it would probably
It
had a
was
beautiful view of the
crazy.
bay.
Yeah,
and
beautiful view of death.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
awesome. All right, we got Let Roses Burn says, can't wait for Friday. You should come to Florida and go skunk ape hunting.
Yeah,
There
we
you
should do the
go.
skunk ape. I don't know who's going to get the skunk. I don't know if we've signed who's getting what. I think that.
We're not. We're just talking about whatever we want. We'll just bring up some details and talk about
All right,
whatever.
cool.
Okay. Chelsea says, fell in love with reptiles from watching the vlog. You are all amazing. Gang.
Gang.
Thank you,
gang,
Chelsea.
gang. Thank you
That's it.
so much, Chelsea. Seriously, gang,
I
gang.
saw somebody who said gardening would be amazing on shrooms.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know.
Everything
It's
would
true.
be.
Everything's
Jeez.
Yeah, anything's
all right,
amazing. You know what I'm saying? All right,
Life's
so
amazing.
Caustic says,
Again.
I was the one that asked you about ball python breeding, but about 3 weeks ago, I got my first hypogranite berm. Thank you for inspiring my reptile addiction.
That's awesome. And those
You're
hypogranite
welcome,
berms are
and I'm
ridiculously.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
those
those
were.
are cool.
It's my favorite morph
Geoff?
or Burmese.
That's Geoff, right?
It's Geoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
So Mike comes and says, I'm a psychonaut, which is like a psychedelic astronaut, right? My buddy is one of the trials for mushrooms to help PTSD. I'll happily be experienced trip setter for this family event. LOL.
Mike, come on by too, and bring some of those experimental products with you as well.
Wow.
I'm trying to change the world. Potterhead says, can we get a pull that stuff up, Jay shit merch?
Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah,
There's
a
a lot of merch that needs to get made. Too,
Yeah, we got to do some.
I got all the
and I
ideas
do.
on my
Yeah,
phone.
and I've got some merch that I'm working on.
I need a
that'll be
merch
out
guy.
soon. Yeah, we're gonna be.
I need a
coming.
merch guy where I send him ideas and he just makes.
and he just
Yeah.
makes it. Yeah, we got to get it. So if
Yeah.
any of you guys
Who's
is a
that?
merch guy,
Yeah,
I'll
Yeah,
grab
if
the
anyone
merch
has,
guy,
if you are that merch guy, slide in the DMs, baby.
yeah, but it's coming.
it's coming. All right, we got Tammy. She says, "Hey, watch every episode. Question for Lori: how many tattoos do you have, and what does the one on your arm say? And keep up the awesome work."
You don't have to.
Love you guys.
say.
I have I have 3,
3.
and this one is
Yep.
probably what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That one is a tribute for my brother who passed away. It says, always in my heart, forever in my mind, and his name.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not this one, but this one is just a heart, and it has all our family's initials in it.
Yeah, I like
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
tattoos are cool.
Yeah.
Will
I
says,
know. I'm really thinking about my next one.
Me too.
"Ooh, me too." Will says, I'm not done, LOL, but I missed the drive-in. My experiences were young or teenage, but I just thought it was awesome, even though the quality was horrible.
We were just talking about that.
I
We
miss
just
it
we just
too.
talked about it a couple nights ago. You went to one,
last
right?
year,
You went to one,
You went to the one down in Detroit, right?
It's like more downriver.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
But you're
yeah,
saying
it's
it's
fine.
but it's open.
It's by
I don't
where
know if
I
it's open
grew up.
anymore.
It's Fordtel. It's still
Yep,
open
Fordtel,
because,
yep.
But I wonder if
that's
it's
where
open
my
right
family
now.
still goes there.
Do you think it's still open?
Well, I
I
think
heard
they
rumors it
opened
was.
the drive-ins. You said
I heard rumors it
So,
was, but
if
I don't
so,
know. But
it's open.
This was
I
in,
would love
like,
to. Yeah. Do we have something here?
This was in,
I
like,
was just looking.
August.
I did see something
At
about
half
a bunch of
capacity.
people.
It says Capri Drive-In movie
Yeah.
opens at half capacity.
I seen an article the other day that said like a bunch of people just went to one, like not like disregarding all the regulations.
Well, I
stuff.
don't know how you would do.
Well,
I mean,
the
if you're in your
thing is,
car,
with
who cares?
drive-ins, everybody stays in their cars.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
as
what I
long
don't
as you stay in your
understand. Like,
cars, you're
why would there
fine.
be half capacity if you're in your car?
Doesn't matter.
You know, I mean, like
you wouldn't have half capacity in your house
or in a parking lot.
Yeah.
You
In a
know,
parking lot.
I mean, like only half the people can park at Walmart. You know, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
We already had this conversation. None of this shit makes sense.
Doesn't
ahead.
make sense.
All right,
Katie,
I'm excited for Friday
this-
because I brought it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's
you're
the one that brought up
she's
the
the one that brought
topic,
up the topic. Yeah, thank you, Katie.
Yeah.
This will be dedicated to you.
Awesome.
Shout out.
That's all the super chats.
Wow, thank you guys. You
That
guys
should
kept
be
us
the
going. I mean,
end.
it was kind of fun because it just kind of flowed through
Rolled,
the super
right?
chat. So you guys
Exactly.
basically
Made the
determined
Dictated this whole podcast.
yeah, which was freaking awesome, man. That
Yeah,
was
because I didn't have any ideas.
I had a whole
it
bunch of
worked
stuff. I had a whole bunch of stuff written
thank
down.
you
Thank you guys
Thank
so
you
much.
guys.
Thank you guys so fucking much.
For saving us
Thank you
from that
guys.
list.
I hope you enjoy.
We enjoyed.
Keep it up.
Okay, so the next 2 hours is going to be my list.
I gotta go.
We gotta go, man. We gotta go. I'm hungry. I haven't had water in an hour. I'm thirsty, man. I gotta go.
Come on, man. Sadhguru in 3 days.
Yeah, come on, bro.
You're
But
right.
he was prepared. We were not.
He had a waist
I know.
capture
He did.
or whatever it was.
A cathedral. I mean, a catheter.
Fucking cathedral.
He had a fucking cathedral up his ass. Been a whole lot of shit up there.
Oh my gosh.
And with that being said, you guys have been checked in, and we are checking out.
Thank you guys. Love you guys. We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good way to
Yay.
end it. That's a good way to end it, huh?